Yeah, buddies. It's the Bennington Show on a Monday. I'm Ron Bennington. There's Gail Bennington.
Yo.
I am Ron Bennington, and newly and freshly tanned Chris Stanley is here today. Yesterday, he was burnt. Today, he is tan. It happens very quickly.
And you're so bespeckled right now.
Yes.
You get tanned and then so freckly. Those like Irish freckles.
Oh, you go, I didn't notice that.
He's got them.
Yeah.
They kind of just connect into a tan.
Oh, that's great then. We were at Skank Fest yesterday with Ari Shaffir Unmasked, which, by the way, even while I was sitting there, maybe 15 minutes in, I'm like, this is one of my favorite Unmasked I've ever been part of, because you just don't know what people's thought processes are, and Ari is incredibly an interesting thinker. But what was making me laugh is there was a time that I looked up before Unmasked started, and it was sweaty Chris chugging water, and I was just like, oh man, I wish Don was here to see this, because that's the thing that freaks him out. Sweaty, wet shirted Chris chugging water. Now, I'm saying that, but there was nothing. All Chris's job was yesterday was, is their sound good enough? I'll watch them do their sound. There was no reason for you to be sweaty, disheveled, nothing.
Or anxiety-ridden. Any of the things that needed, none of them is typical Chris behavior. And I wish that Don had been there, but luckily I did snap a picture.
You did?
So we can put that out. This tends to just be his general comedy festival look, I guess.
Oh my God, that literally is it.
I looked over and I was like, it's like he's in Austin again.
First of all, doesn't that look like he's sitting in front of a fake backdrop?
Is that the green screen? Look, it was hot out yesterday.
But everybody, there were people there in line. There were actual people, because I made sure that I checked out Christine and Rebecca, because they were running around full tilt the entire weekend. Neither of them was sweating. Neither of them was chugging water.
And in fact, when I got there, I was thinking, thank God this is actually kind of a nice day. Yesterday it was pretty hot. And as I walk up, Chris was in full Austin mode with his sweat. And I'm like, where did he get this huge bottle of water? Nobody else was behaving
and he's
this way.
I'll say at most a quarter mile from his house. So he doesn't even have that stranger in a strange land to thing. I'm sure the bonfire tonight will be telling all the stories over the weekend. That was a book of stories taking place at Skankfest. Those guys have taken that thing next level from last year. And I know what their plans are next year, and it's madness. You know what I mean? Like I'm sure they've said out loud that they want to move that festival around the country. And if you would have said that to me last year, like, oh, they want to move this festival around the country, I would have said, what a dumb idea. But this year, I'm like, gold mine, boys, gold mine. Because it's really, really fucking fun.
It was so
and
insane.
Fun.
And like such a fun, like family atmosphere.
It was a real fucking festival.
Well, that's the thing that really shocked me is I showed up and immediately I felt like we were at Moon Tower or JFL, like the way everybody was like, hey, and like everyone was like hugging each other, even though you normally see these people all the time. Like everyone was excited to all be in the same place.
I'm about to go on stage with Ari, who I only saw seconds before, and I'm hearing all the crazy shit Ari did over the weekend, and he did plenty of it. And then, you know how there's that little courtyard behind Creek in the Cave, and it just looks gorgeous this time of year. And, there's people eating and drinking, and like, all of a sudden, like, Joe List is saying something to me, like, hey, what time's it start? I want to make sure I hear it. And then I hear, Roddy! And it's Bobby, and he's down, he's got cigars, and he's holding up, and smoke a cigar with me. You know what I mean? Like, there's not enough time. Like, at a good festival, there's not enough time to do everything that you want to do. It's a real festival.
Yeah.
They put on a real festival.
I mean, even after this Unmasked, and we're bumping into everybody, we're seeing all of our buddies, all these great comics, and then we go out for a bite to eat, and then Joe DeRosa walks in, and I'm like, this is a real festival.
Yeah. And then you do that, like he's fucking telling jokes over from one tape. It's really fucking fun. But what was also really funny is we were at that thing, which, by the way, Chris, not your fault, but the blandest food I've ever had in my life.
Yeah,
and I can say that for everybody.
Yeah.
It looked so hip. They put all their money into this faux Brooklyn place like people do. And then I looked around and all the food was as bland as a cafeteria.
It was like that. Like we got apps, and I was like, this might be okay.
Yeah, the apps are always good, aren't they?
And then everything. Like I was watching everyone eat their entree. It just kind of looked like that's kind of stinks.
You felt like you were at Chili's or Ruby Tuesdays. It's like the idea now is to make something that looks like it's different than Chili's, but it isn't at all.
No, it's still the same comforting, bland stuff.
Yeah.
Nothing too challenging, but we do have Edison bulbs hanging from ropes.
Yes, and a really cool painting that makes it look like this used to be a fucking warehouse or something years ago. But here's what was funny. While we're eating there, they also walk the whole festival past us. All the comics and the audience walked down together for that show last night, which was just incredible. Creek in the Cave is like the real deal, funky old school.
Yeah.
And now it's being surrounded by these faux funky old schools. Brand new. We're pretending that we have the history of the Creek in the Cave. But that festival couldn't have been any better.
Yeah, it was so much fun. And I agree that Unmasked was maybe one of my favorite of all time. Like, it was such a good Unmasked. And Ari was like, I felt like, and I don't want to give anything away, but there were all these different aspects of his life and his career that you touched on, and any single one of those could have been an hour-long conversation.
Dude, I actually gave up a large middle of it because I was so fascinated by a couple periods of his life that I didn't have the chance to get to another period and time to wrap it up, which I certainly wanted to talk to him about. But I'll talk about him more as we lead up to it, but he's seriously one of the most fascinating fucking people in comedy. He's just fucking fascinating. He really is. And
he has like the kind of stories that you're like, oh, that, like, you could write a book. Like, you could already probably write. Well,
any one of those things is better than most comedy movies and comedy TV shows. But how and why someone does these things that, quite frankly, a more normal, leveled person would think, this isn't working, time to pivot, time to get out. As they say in Silicon Valley, it's time to pivot into another thing. Silicon Valley said goodbye to Ehrlich last night. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe this will help kick the show out of its rut. Did you watch it at all, Gail? You're not a watcher? You are a watcher?
Yeah, I watched last week's episode, so I just taped last night's. But I did read the interview that TJ Miller had done, which is kind of, he's just like such an interesting, weird guy.
I know.
And he kind of just seems to lay it all out. Like, he doesn't really hold back his opinions on why he's going and who was nice about it and who wasn't.
He doesn't care.
But I don't know. I mean, the show could perhaps survive because there's a crazy amount of funny people on that show. And, each of the ensemble that makes up the show has so many strengths, but it's hard to imagine that show without him. Like, he does kind of feel like the linchpin in so many ways. Well, I'm
going to give my opinion of this because everyone knows it's very entourage based, where we got to win at the beginning of the show, we lose at the end. We lose at the beginning of a show, we win at the end. I mean, it doesn't need to be that. I thought that the show would have been most interesting, and this may be the time to kick it up without depending on TJ Miller and his house and all that, is what happens if you get really successful? You know what I mean? Instead of they're always beating against the door, what happens when you get in the door and your dreams that you had are harder to do than you thought they were? You know what I mean? Like that to me was the show, but I guess that doesn't fit as a real sitcom. But I wanted him to become Mark Zuckerberg or the Uber guy. You know what I mean? I thought that would have been the point of the show, but it wasn't. You know what I mean? It's always we're scraping, we're trying, it's so hard here. I get that. But what happens when you get in and it's still fucking hard and you have $1 billion and you're still unhappy?
Or like you suddenly have all this money, the responsibility gets crazy. You still have this great creative idea, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you have the skill set to implement your creative ideas. Like some people, your ideas are huge, but your abilities to make them happen are like, yeah, I can't really do those things. But if I could, this is what they'd be like.
Mark Zuckerberg. Now, he is a success no matter, there's no way of fucking, I mean, even comparing it to anyone that you've ever met in your life.
Yeah.
Including most of the people that you think of as stars or rich or whatever. He's beyond them. And yet, over the weekend, he's just going around these Iowa towns, right? And you're like, what? So is he trying to put together Iowa to run against Trump? Has Trump now made it okay for anyone that's got billions of dollars and a high profile to become president? And the answer is yes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like a Mark Cuban or a Mark Zuckerberg has every bit of the fucking route to the White House now as if you were governor of Ohio or Florida or a senator, the kind of things that we thought of before. But then Zuckerberg was acting so nutty at these things that literally I'm like this. Zuckerberg is a stupid dick. Like immediately I felt fucking superior to him because he went out and
because he was trying something.
Yes, he was trying something and he was like dumb. You know what I mean? Like the way that he talked to people at truck stops was dumb. And I'm like, a dick. I'd hate to be Mark Zuckerberg because he's stupid. Tucker, what's up, buddy?
Hey, everybody.
Yeah.
So the other day, you guys were talking about bad movies, and Battlefield Earth came up. And I was kind of laughing at the conversation, and I was like, I wish I could see that movie somehow. And then a day later, I'm walking on the sidewalk, and some homeless person is selling DVDs on a blanket. Boom, Battlefield Earth right there. So I buy it, right? I buy it, and I remembered that Gail mentioned the cinematography in it, about how the camera's on Dutch angle at all times. Et cetera, et cetera. So I pop in the DVD. This movie's worse than you remember, by the way. But I pop in the DVD, and there's a bonus feature talking to the cinematographer. And he says, yeah, every single shot in this movie is a Dutch angle. And if there ever was a time where we found footage where the camera was level and the bottom of the frame was parallel to the bottom of the screen, it didn't make the final cut. We took it out. And he said a lot of people find it, I forget if he said like, irritating or grating or distracting. He had some negative word. He's very proud of it, though. But the funny part is, I was like, this guy's a fucking hack fraud. How did he even get this gig? So I Google him, and he's actually like a maestro. He shot Hell or High Water. And that's like the best movie, and the best looking movie of the last year. So, I don't know, you guys want to blame Scientology or whatever. Go ahead.
Definitely.
What a shitstorm. So, yeah, good eye, Gail, on the Dutch angle hatred.
All right, very, very funny. All right, this came up about you. Kyle wrote, I was in line watching Chris Stanley, and he went through a pack in 20 minutes, pacing back and forth like the club was on fire. I wish that we could understand Chris Stanley's internal monologue, because God knows his heart is in the right place.
Yeah, he cares.
But there was nothing cool about what he was doing.
No.
You did not look like a guy who was in charge, and you weren't physically doing anything to help. You were only sweating, smoking, chugging water, concerned.
Pacing.
But why? What is going on in your mind when you're pacing like that?
I don't know, because I was worried about shows going over and us starting on time.
Why? We literally, the only way that we would have had to worry that the show wasn't starting on time is that if it was 11:45 Monday fucking morning. And then we could have said, oh, throw in a best of. But we had 20 some hours where we didn't care whether we started on time. It was a taped show. The show was taped.
Also, the people who are producing this festival, that's their stomach ache. Why are you taking that on? Like, that's
what did you think would go wrong if? And by the way, in festival, there's always 5-10 minutes, but we had nothing but time.
Yes, I know. I got there early as well.
No. I'm saying we only had we had nothing but time to play with. We weren't in a hurry. Why would that? What is going on in your? Do you find something?
It's like a lovely day too.
Yeah, it was fantastic.
So we're just hanging out with our friends,
meeting people, and I saw listeners I haven't seen in years, and it was really fun. And like we said, all the other comics are hanging out. It was great. And you were pacing, sweating, upset. I guess focusing, if I'm going to believe you, on something that didn't matter at all.
I guess it ended up not mattering, but it's just something that I was.
But why would it matter? Here's the thing: you're the guy. You've produced a bunch of shows before, right?
Yes.
And in this one, you really weren't producing. You were just making sure that you had a good fucking sounding thing that you could play on Sirius XM.
Yes.
So what were you upset about?
I don't know if I was upset, but I think I don't think I'm upset at the time, but I don't realize what the actions I'm doing seem crazy.
You're not talking to anybody.
Yeah, your stress manifests itself physically. Like, you start to physically look stressed. You're not just thinking them. It's not just in your head. It's like everyone comes up to you like, hey, buddy, you all right?
Yeah. I'm smoking another cigarette. Yeah, I ripped through those things.
And you just, a little while ago, you didn't smoke at all.
I know. It's weird. Jump right back in.
Well, I just hope this new fiance of yours helps calm you down.
I think she is. Except for yesterday.
I
was really hoping she was coming.
Yeah, I was hoping the same thing when I walked up. I was like, oh, he doesn't have anyone with him. I want to meet this special lady friend of yours.
You will.
It's not his special lady friend. It's his. What was that from? Remember in?
Oh yeah. He's like, he doesn't. He calls
one of the lady friends his special lady.
And then but then later he's like, my lady friend. Like, he calls her his lady friend, even though he says he's not.
By the way, I feel more stressed that we are inside today. Which, when I was coming into work, I thought to myself, this may be the nicest day that I've ever felt on the planet Earth. Any place.
Yeah.
The air, the sun, it's so gorgeous right now that I thought to myself, it's a sin to go inside.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys get this, but I get anxiety where if I just make the decision, like, I'm going to either like stay inside and do some like chores, or I want to have a lazy day and it's nice out, I get like a tremendous amount of guilt about it. Like, I feel like that is a day wasted that in the winter I would complain if I had to go outside. And there's the weather that you pray for all winter long, and you're just like in your house watching Netflix or like doing your laundry.
I had a friend who was so obsessed with making sure that they were outside on nice days that they would hope for rain so that they could stay home and relax and take a nap. Like, this actually got to a place where it was some kind of a mental compulsion.
Wow.
That if it was a nice day, he wanted to be out with his dog, walking around, blah, blah, blah. And he would be so tired some days. And he's like, I just hope it fucking rains for a couple of days. I'm like, do you realize that you're now a lunatic in the other direction?
Yeah, now you're a psycho.
And I actually said, I don't need another crazy friend. Our friendship is no more.
We're done.
Yeah.
I've got you off.
When somebody annoys me, I just give them, our friendship is no more.
I will say, though, that having a dog is a good thing. Like, no matter whether the weather is good or bad, it forces you to be outside 3 times a day. Like, there's going to be at least 3 times where you're going to step outside and walk for anywhere from like 15 minutes to an hour. Like,
now, let me also ask this. Was Vito any help to you yesterday?
He printed some plugs out for me. That was a help.
Mm-hmm. The one that he put on Ari's side of the table that Ari was reading off and not me?
Yes, yes.
Okay, good. I was worried that didn't work out properly. Also, the water bottle that was had the big plug in it.
I know.
So there was no way not to make a big deal out of it.
I know. There was like a moment that I was like, if there was a not so awkward way that like you guys would reference me doing it, I was going to go on stage and unplug it and re-pour both of your water. I could see that they were both really low, and I was like, I bet they both want more water, but they don't want to struggle.
Yeah,
with
I don't want to sit around and do that while he's mid conversation talking about God, the devil, heaven, and hell.
But then I thought, if I do this, then this is going to be like, there's no way Ari's not going to be distracted by this, and then that's going to take up 10 minutes of conversation of why I just poured your water like a waitress.
And every comic would do that. Like if the old days of like rock shows when they weren't set up properly and people would be running around and trying to fix things. Like you really don't go to shows anymore where the sound is so terrible that you see the crew running out and trying to fix things. It used to be a constant. And like just because you're crouching down doesn't mean you're not changing the entire way the fucking whipping post experience. Quincy says Stanley's transgression into Fez's nervousness is complete. Someone else says we used to do the shows outside in Periscope last summer. Why don't we do that anymore? That was kind of fun when we would do those shows out on the street. I remember even Don said, "Oh, that sounds great." You could hear like horns beeping and shit.
Yeah.
But we got out of that. I guess because Periscope died, but now there's Facebook Live.
And now Facebook Live and Twitch.
Do you think Facebook Live is the same quality? Like, could we try the same thing with Facebook Live one day?
Yeah, we could try this. Yeah, we could.
We've never been good social media people.
Yeah.
We said we wanted to get a social media, and what we decided to do was take a picture with every guest in front of that same sign.
We're old souls, I guess.
Well, remember Vito was going to be our social media guy. And, you know, he was going to do all these different kinds of things. But it happens like twice, and then you'll go back. And we probably have a Twitch page with 2 things on it. You know what I mean? There probably is a Facebook Live.
We should try that one day. Like, maybe while we're upstairs, we'll send someone down to do it, and we'll have to test the quality.
Yeah.
Because the Periscope sounded really solid.
Yeah, and it was fun. It just makes you a different person. You know what I mean? You just do the show differently for a little while.
And then Chris can chain smoke during it. So that's great. And then I don't have to feel guilty about being inside.
Yes, we can fix all of our problems immediately.
Wait, maybe one day if we do the whole show from outside, then I can bring Birdie. And it could be a bring your dog to work day.
Dog show?
I would love to do that, where we all bring our dogs from home. You got to get the thing that lets Birdie come up here. When you had the gay kerchief on Birdie the other day.
I did, yeah. I put a pride handkerchief on her. And I feel like it was really a solid look for her. Yeah. Now with her new haircut, I think she rocks it a little better.
Well, yeah, a little, especially if you're going to do the gay thing, a little shave always helps for women.
Yeah, she's looking very butch these days.
I for the first time ever, and I got to take offense that you called it a parade. It's a march, not a parade, and I know this from watching ABC.
Yes,
and they correct it themselves every 2 minutes. But
yeah,
it was one of the great parades of all time because they constantly had to pull away every time a nut dropped out of somebody's fucking shorts. And they would have this, they were on a 7-second delay, and they just had this shot like of Manhattan from, I don't know if there was a tower in Harlem that was almost in heaven.
Go to the B-roll.
I mean, I guess it was shot from a helicopter, but since it's not, it doesn't seem like a helicopter shot. And that thing came up, I'll say at least every 3-4 minutes while I was laughing. So I was like, oh man, I wish I would do a drinking thing. I have to drink every time.
Right.
And then I was like, oh, this is why you can't drink, Ron, because you make up an excuse of why you should have to drink more. The other night I was, this is, I mean, it's a ridiculous thing, but I feel like I want to put this on public record. So Voss is at the stand with me and a lot of incredibly funny people, and the weekend was amazing. So Jimmy Norton stops by, and we're all standing out front. And this, and we were just leaning against a fucking cop car talking. And just was one of those great New York summer nights. And this crazy New York old lady comes down the street. And it's like one of those ladies that you ever see that there's patterns that just don't make any sense. And she's wearing 3 different pattern designs that don't match. Mm-hmm. Crazy, swirly pants, a stripy, nutty shirt, and then a sparkly jacket. And then she had that over fucking dyed big hair, you know what I mean? Did it put together with a pair of fucking insane glasses. And you just see her coming down the street, and no matter who you were, and you saw this woman, you were going to focus on her. Because you're like, there's a crazy lady. There's literally a crazy lady. And I even thought to myself, isn't it nuts how some people have to be locked up and other people just get to walk around?
Yes.
And she was going into the stand. And I know that she wasn't there to see a show. I know that she was just a crazy person who wanders into stores. So, and me and Voss and Norton were all standing there, and none of us said, hey, here comes a crazy lady. But we, you see that out of the corner of your eye. And she's heading into the stand, and Voss just goes like this, Bonnie. And tonight is the roast for Voss, and he's literally one of the funniest people who ever lived. But I can tell you this. I saw Jim Norton laugh for 10 fucking straight minutes.
Dude, that is a one-word joke. That's one word. That was hilarious.
Better than if you had a month to write something funny on this. But one-word jokes is something we need to work on, because they're the best kind of jokes. Yes, Chris Stanley.
Lisa Lampanelli is coming in studio. Previews for her show Stuffed begin October 6th at the West Side Theater in New York City. Tickets are now on sale. Go to stuffedplay.com.
Or you can go to insultcomic.com. But and she's also at the Paramount in Huntington, New York, this Thursday, June 29th, for the North Shore Animal League. Let's bring in our good friend Lisa Lampanelli. Good to see you.
You look so great. I love your hair. Oh, thank you.
Lisa Lampanelli is coming in studio. Stuff begins October 6th at the West Side Theater in New York City. 5th, October 5th. Stuffplay.com for tickets. Insultcomic.com for all of Lisa's tour dates and more information.
Great to see you, and you look fantastic.
Oh my God, I look so beautiful.
You really do.
You guys don't even understand what a hot, tasty piece of ass I am from the neck down.
Well, the number of people who attempt to take off weight and then it comes back.
Oh,
it's like 99%.
Oh my God!
And yet you have kept the weight off.
Yeah, dude, I got the surgery 5 years ago. Kept it off 5 years. I had my anniversary this year.
Yeah,
I didn't want to pull what we in the business call a Carney Wilson.
Yes,
and I'm only saying that because I only met her once.
Yeah,
and she can't call me. No, but it was really cool because it's hard, dude.
Yeah,
this is what is hilarious about the weight loss thing. Every day is still work. And it kind of pisses me off a little, but I know that's the fact. For the rest of my life, I'm going to be going, should I feel sad or eat that cake? Last week I had to do it. I had a disappointment and I had to freaking go, the cake won't solve anything. Took me 10 freaking minutes not to eat that cake, but I had to do it.
Now, most of us would just eat the cake. Just fucking simply eat the cake. And then you're like this. Oh, God, I feel better with that cake.
Yeah, but then guess what?
Yes.
The next time the feelings come up, it's like you got to eat more cake and more cake, and you're a drunk.
Yeah,
and then you're shopping online. Well, you know what? I transferred my food addiction somewhat to shopping addiction for a minute because here's the sad thing. When you make the money I make, you can afford to do it.
Right.
But I'm a cheap bitch, so I'd only go to like Forever Slutty One and H&M.com. So, but the thing is, it's still not getting you the feelings that you need to have in order to keep these addictions out of your life. So I stopped doing that too. I'm like, Jesus, I'm fantastic spiritually and mentally.
It does seem though that if you give something up that you are addicted, it does seem to just transfer to something else. And then once you master that thing, you end up transferring it.
Well, what they say is don't let that happen. Like they warn you in advance. No matter where you work on your weight, they say that. And I didn't listen for years. It was, then I'll just date guys or I'll just shop or I'll just do this. I never drank or did drugs or anything, so that wasn't a thing. But man, I almost wished I could have been an alcoholic because you're so much cuter when you're an alcoholic than a fat bitch. Like, if I could have just like 8 drinks a day and be like, party. But no, I have to be fat.
Other people's addictions always look so great. Like you'll just be
heroin?
Like, yeah, heroin
They're
looks fantastic.
so skinny on heroin.
You're so skinny and you lean like cool. You're like,
I
look at that lean and it looks comfortable.
Isn't it funny, Ron, how we never have cool addictions? Yeah. It has to be food. Like how awful is that? Because people see that coming a mile away.
Well, isn't the shopping addiction like sometimes you'll think to yourself, if I had the right pair of sunglasses, I could finally be happy.
Absolutely. Dude, last night, I was so tired because I'd taken a red eye home. Mm-hmm. I said, let me just see. Let me just go on the computer and and I don't even go to expensive stuff. I went to lastcall.com. Don't go there because it's addictive because they send you coupons all the time. It's like Neiman Marcus's crappy brand. So I'm like, I'm not stupid enough to go to NeimanMarcus.com, but I go, let me just see. 40% off. And you know what? I close the computer. I go, this ain't going to help. I thought my life was going to be better with the 800th shirt. Yes. How many shirts do I need? My life, my closets are an embarrassment. Now it's like I got to just give everything away. But yeah, you're right. You think everything is going to make your life better. And for me, it was always the cake.
So you're doing stand up, but in October.
Yeah, October. September is rehearsals for stuff. Everything ends in my life except that because it's 8 shows a week. Oh my God. Mm-hmm. I'm so excited. And we're doing it at the West Side Theater, which is where the Vagina Monologue starts.
Yes.
Nice.
So it was like the dream has finally come true for me to be able to say these words. Ron Bennington, are you listening? Tickets available at, get this, telecharge.com. You don't say that for comic. Comedy is Ticketmaster. Losers. Anybody who could say the C word could be on ticket. Telecharge. You'll find tickets there for Hamilton, for Dear Evan Fagson, and also for Stuffed by Lisa Lemon. I mean, come on.
Well, yeah, and then you'll also show up at the booth in the middle of the thing for
the TKTS.
Yes,
I forgot.
That's unbelievable, right? Because they don't do that for stand-ups, but they do that for shows, and you just see that giant line of people going, I don't know, I'm here in New York, I don't know what I want to say, and you're gonna have those people.
Now I have an even warmer feeling inside and down below because literally it's a weird thing to have a dream and have it come true. Like I always wanted to be a comic. Then when I decided to write the play, I go, it's probably not gonna happen, but wouldn't that be cool if I was in a real theater? And it's like, oh my God, I raised the money and it happened. It felt so freaking good.
Now, how long has this journey been from I want to do the play?
7 years, man.
7 years.
Yep, before the weight loss surgery. And I remember in one of my writing sessions for the play, one of the first sessions, I was reading a transcript and it said, I'm never going to go weight loss surgery. That's totally taking the easy way out. And I'm like, guess what the bitch did to you? But I think writing the play helped me figure out it wasn't easy. In fact, in the play, you got to see it. It's a really funny run about when people say it easy, what it's really like, because it's hard as F. Yeah. So, it's not the easy way. But that 7-year journey was what got me to the right theater. I'm like in shock, basically, that I'm doing this. It's so cool.
It is. But, the 7-year thing goes to show, it's like, it doesn't matter what success you've had in your life. Mm-hmm. Every next step is still hard. Yeah. It's so weird to me that there isn't people who go, oh, you've had this is success, this is success, this is your dream now. So yeah, we'll bank it. We'll get behind you. No,
absolutely. And I got so lucky that I attracted, first of all, the Women's Project, who's the WP Theater where we did the initial run. Because if they hadn't said, oh, you're a good playwright, then I would have never got financing from people. I would have never got the general manager of the show. Like, you just attract the right people.
Right.
And then you go, man, I'm lucky that they even know my name. Like, I'm in a group now in this theater world where I'm like, oh, you heard my name? Wow, that's cool. Because, we never feel like we're good enough. And honestly, after this is over, I'll find the next thing. I was screaming and yelling on the way here to my best friend in Connecticut about how much, fucking, because I flew on the red eye. I was so tired. And I go, I'm retiring. That's it. When this play is done, I'm done. And she, thank God, is a best friend and was like, I totally understand. If it in her mind going, you ain't fucking retiring, bitch. You're going to need a new project.
Right. But that is true, that you need people around you that let you say those things. Who don't go out of their way to go, no, you can't retire because that's not what you're looking for.
All I need is I need like a mindless bobblehead doll who just shakes their head up and down but never sideways. That's all I need in my life.
So the West Side Theater, and like you said, this is a legitimate New York theater.
Yeah. And I mean, because I think the reason I wanted to, as my fantasy of going into a situation, I had gone to see Love, Loss, and What I Wore There.
Right.
And that had been written by Nora Ephron.
Who I love.
Oh my God. And I was like, oh, suppose that's my theater and those are my girls sitting up there instead of hers. And that was a pipe dream. I go, that's not going to happen.
Right.
But honestly, at the last minute, this was so wild because we were negotiating with a bunch of places. It wasn't working out. So I let it go. I said, whatever's meant to be will happen. I get an email from someone who knows the manager of that theater. And she goes, you really should get in touch with her because she'd love this because she loved those other shows.
Yeah.
Boom. Within like 3 days, it was done. That's when you know you're not forcing it. And I go, this was the dream all along. I almost compromised, but I didn't have to. So I think it's just meant to be.
Yeah.
And also, I sweat ticket sales a lot. Like, I'm the type who, I was talking to Norton about this before. I was like, if we don't sell out a place, we feel like huge failures. The people who are going to see it are the ones who needed to.
Right.
You can't force it. You do your best, then let go.
Yeah. If you look over sometimes a giant place and you're like 3 empty seats.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, so.
Hurt your feelings.
Yes.
And then you go, am I an idiot? Like, am I really this ungrateful? So you just do your best.
But it is true. You feel better if you're in an 80 fucking seat place that's packed than if you are in a 3,000 seat place that has 99% of the tickets.
Well, because then you're punishing yourself for taking on something bigger.
Yeah.
You're then, not seeing the fact that you've taken on a bigger thing. You're like, oh.
Well, there was this one place. There was this one casino I played, and I played it twice in 1 year at a place that held 4,500 people. It's a lot of freaking people. The first time, of course, it was sold out. The second time, it didn't. So my manager said, we obviously made a mistake taking it twice because that's a lot of seats. It was a ton of money, though. So you just don't go like, no. So they skipped a year with me. And she goes, it evens out anyway. See? You still made the same money. So why force ourselves? Let's just be smarter and just go, we'll come back next year. So you learn as you go along. But yeah, when you overshoot something, you feel like a total dick. And I left there feeling like bad, even though the show was great. I'm like, that's not right.
But there is a mathematical thing to touring that, you know what I mean? Like most people never think about. And then like, Brian Regan said to me, he tries to hit his city and he's got it like every 16 months.
It's exactly it. I talked to him. It's interesting. I can't believe you mentioned him because I called him once for advice because I always saw we were in the same theater within like a week of each other.
Yeah.
So I called him and I said, Brian Regan, the guy who was so nice to me. I just go, do you have trouble selling out some places? And he goes, of course. And I go, well, what do you do? And he goes, I do my best. I do the press on the one day they have me do a week. I write new material every time I go back. So then I sell the tickets that I sell. And I'm like, this guy's got it all together in the head. And I started thinking the way he does because he has virtually no TV whatsoever.
It's unbelievable. What he's done as a comedian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's because he writes a new hour or whatever every 16 months.
Yeah. And people go, that was so funny. I'm going to go back to see him the next time he's in town.
And tell my 10 friends.
Yes.
And then if a bit does get repeated, I'll go, this is
the one. Yeah.
So yeah, as a comic, I learned so much from him. And also I just like him because he's under the radar as far as the press. He doesn't do a lot of crappy TV shows. Like he's just seems like he has a life that I like.
Yeah, he's kind of moved it over from doing the Letterman show once or twice a year to now he's moved over and he's doing the Tonight Show because they just let him go out, do his jokes, sit down and do some panel, do some jokes there. And there isn't this pressure to be something that he's not.
We talk about this type of person all the time, but it's like he seems to, and of course you're saying this from an outside perspective, but he seems to have that type of career where you're like, your peers think you're amazing.
Yes.
You have people, you know, you have a really solid fan base, and then it feels like you did things the way you that were just for him. You know what I mean? It's just like, it's not like the sitcom thing and then that thing blew up. It's just like, just a really solid career.
Yeah, and he's had no apologies to make to anyone because he did it exactly the way he wanted to. I hope he has as good of a life as we think he does because he deserves it.
But you think that he could be just sitting there going like this, I can't believe this guy got that fucking sitcom.
You know what's weird? I wonder. Because I don't do that anymore. But believe me, I used to. I used to be like, what the fuck did this bitch do? I was before my time. I still think I was before my time, but I don't blame anybody else for that other than my crazy upbringing and me for making me this psycho that I was, that I had to say all these words. But you know what? You go, now I'm like, oh my God, I'm so happy. I can't believe I look at these TV shows. I'm so happy for the people because I just know it's not for me.
Right.
It feels really good to do that.
It is. It's got to be embarrassing, too, even though you're getting great money, to be doing a TV show where you know this script is stupid and you're saying these things and you're doing these things.
And the writing's less funny than your act. I mean, that can't be an easy thing when you built a career on writing funny material and now you're going to have to deliver lines that you would never say as a stand-up.
Right. Well, they have that on that show, This Is Us, you know, the one on NBC, where the guy in the first episode quits his sitcom job because it's just insane drivel and he just walks off the set. And you go, I can imagine that being me. Hey, look at Bette Midler. When she had her sitcom on CBS, she just said, it's too goddamn much work. I hate it, and left. And didn't care if she had to give the money back. When in her position, she could afford it. And now she does what she wants.
She is a person who also seems like she does exactly what she wants.
I kind of like that. She's probably a huge cunt to some people in a good way.
Right.
Get the ones who you don't need to suffer the foolishness of this idiot. But so am I. I'm like, no, I don't want to do that. No, that doesn't seem right to me because she's the only person I know. There's probably 3 people in the world who could poo-poo the Tonys and go, shut that shit off when the music, when she was getting her award and they all shut up. Like the whole orchestra just stopped. I was like, yeah, bitch. And you go, you know what? Some people rubs them the wrong way. I don't care. That's my type of person.
Were you always that way though? Even when you were at the earliest parts of your career, would you say I'm not taking shit?
I would have a manager who would be that way for me. I remember we talked about this last week. I got offered, there was a show years ago on VH1 called The Surreal Life.
Yes,
and
I
it was
remember
about
that.
a bunch of has-beens. I was just starting comedy. I never was, but I was on the roast, so they thought I'd juice it up a bit. I'd spice it up and yell at people. And she goes, Lisa, this is how she called me with the offer. She goes, hi, Lisa, you got an offer to do blah, blah, blah. And I'm going to tell you why you're not taking it. And I'm like, okay, why? She told me, she goes, you're not a has-been yet. She goes, someday you will be.
Right.
She goes, most people are. But no, this is not the right time. I go, okay. But then, guess where I always have been that person? On stage. I always, despite a lack of confidence as a human and looking like I didn't want to look or whatever, I'd throw down on that stage no matter what. That stage gives you so much balls, you say anything.
I wonder why that is, too. What is it about having a microphone that can... I mean, even this, the conversation we're having now would be different if we were all just out to lunch together. We would be totally different, you know?
Absolutely.
Well, with live performance, I always think it's got to have to do with adrenaline because you're tapping into a thing that if you didn't have a job like that, how often would adrenaline hit you a year where you would actually get an adrenaline spike like that?
Right.
So you're doing that night after night.
Yeah.
I think that probably has something to do with that type of personality that you
But
take
Lisa talks and, stuff is about doubt and being hard on yourself. And I've never seen a moment of doubt on her on stage. It's amazing.
Never.
And those roasts are scarier propositions than most people even know.
Well, yeah, especially when you have an Achilles heel that you don't really like.
Yeah.
When you're overweight. Like when comics would make jokes about me about being this, that, or the other, I was fine. They'd say fat jokes. If they were funny, I liked them. If they weren't funny and were just insulting, I'd get a little hurt. I'll be honest with you. But you got to fake it. And that's when you got to be like, look in the teleprompter, see the jokes coming up, read it and go, okay, oh my God. Like do that fake smile. You'll see, I laugh more at the fat jokes than anything.
Yeah.
But there's so much shame around fat that you just can't help but feel the little sting. So even if it's not horrifying, you have a little sting. I always said for me, I had shame that I worked on around fat. Anything I thought I can control, I had shame on. I've never had shame about getting older or looking different or having a big nose or big ears or whatever I have. I can't change it. What do I care?
Yeah.
Anything I was quote unquote weak enough that I couldn't change, I have shame around. And I just work on the shame all the time. There's nothing to be ashamed of. There's nothing to be ashamed of. Because shame means you feel there's something internally wrong with you. Not I did something wrong. I am wrong. I am bad. I am less than. And I can't walk around feeling that way. And I think, again, the play helped me get to all that crap. You can't have a journey like that writing without learning something. You know?
But you're so exposed in this play in a way you've never been in stand-up.
People know everything. There's 2 stories that I still read and I dread doing every night. There's the story of the way I turned into an insult comic was through a terrible heckle, and I dread every performance because I'm like, oh God, I got to tell people this thing. It's so painful. But guess what? It's kind of funny.
Yeah.
After people hear it, they kind of learn about me more. I help them and they go, oh, I've had that moment where it's changed my life when I was called a certain name, whether it's something to do with Black, Asian, fat, big nose, whatever. But then the other one is about my bottom, when I bottom out and decide to get the surgery. So I think you have to put those things out there and be vulnerable or you never get to the real funny.
But it's amazing that you can feel it coming in the play.
Oh, I hate it. Like this. Guess what I would do? You would laugh. During the first run of the play, I would be backstage with that script and I would flip and count how many pages every night.
Wow.
And go, oh my God, hate it. And I'd be so angry that I had to do it. And then I'm just like, oh, that wasn't so bad.
Yeah.
But you dread it, right?
That's amazing.
But anybody can do why not just do stand-up if I just wanted it to be all funny?
But we always see this. Everybody else always looks more confident. I know that to me, the other person that this roast thing worked out was Greg Giraldo. To me, always confident, but obviously he had his own demons too.
Sure.
And you worked with him quite a bit through those things?
Well, he never was particularly nice to me, so I never really talked to him much. He was a real dented can. We're all dented cans, but unfortunately he had, turned it on himself. And a lot of those guys didn't give me any time of day, and Jeff Ross has always been super nice to me. That's like the exception. But like all those guys on those roasts, they're consumed with themselves. I get it. Me too. But most male comics haven't been particularly nice. Norton's an exception. He was always nice, but he was so friggin' horny and weird that I was like, oh my God, I'm scared of him. I didn't think he'd ever try to rape me or anything because I wasn't rapeable at that time. But I mean, thought he was too weird. But yeah, a lot of those guys weren't really nice. And I think it was now that I realized it wasn't me, it was them. They had their internal demons. Of course, Greg Giraldo is going to be nice to a big, open-hearted, mushy-hearted, white, fat bitch. You know what I mean? Why should you be? I'm not open to you. You're not going to be open to me. So I now try to be more open to attract the type of person who would be wouldn't have been open to me in the past.
But you kind of rose above the club scene, and that gives you your own kind of protective bubble because your audience is coming to the theater. Yeah. And it's always amazing to me in comedy, somebody like you could think, I don't think much of them. They could have a long run.
Yes.
And it doesn't matter whether you're a fan of theirs or not. They have their own fans.
Yeah. Like right now, people could be like, your career's over.
Yeah.
Your career, like I'll do a Facebook Live once in a great while and the comments will come up. And in between all the other great stuff, you'll see something like, you were funnier when you were fat, or why'd you write a play? Your career's over, stuff like that. And you go, yeah, maybe it is, maybe it isn't. That's all right. So you come to this place where, hey, I'm still out there. I'm still swinging. Like there's this famous song, I'm Still Here, this Broadway tune where it's just like, yeah, I'm still doing it. Like, even if you don't like it, that's okay. But you have to remember, you have to be calm with the not being liked by certain people. Hey, there's some comics now. I was just talking about this with Jenny McCarthy. Dude, there are these comics in their 20s. I don't even know what they're talking about. I don't understand it. It's meant for people in their 20s. My friends, kids love them, and I just don't get it. So I'll go, oh, yeah, they're great.
Yeah.
But if you ask me one of their jokes and why it's funny, I don't even know.
Or sometimes you're like, are they going for the joke? You know what I mean? Like, are they doing a joke?
Yeah. And I just go, well, I guess it's not my own. I'm not meant to like them. And you just got to let go that everybody's supposed to like you because they're just not. I used to be, that ended for me at age 13. When I went to school, I used to go to Catholic school, and you used to go up to 8th grade to one school and then 9th in another. The week I got into freshman year, I was in such a bubble from grades 1 to 8. No one insulted anyone. Everybody was super nice. I don't know. I thought I was just terrific. And then I heard this girl, I'll never forget her name, Claire Liptak. What a cunt. I heard her behind my back saying, she said to me something about having a big nose. I didn't realize I had a big nose till then. From that day on, I was like, oh my God, not everybody likes me. Not everybody thinks I'm okay the way I am. Isn't that interesting? That we just have a wake up of our little fantasy is over.
Yeah.
And you go, unfortunately, it took a lot of hold on me until, recently. And then you go, it's okay that I have a big nose. It's cool. It's all right. She didn't have to like me.
That's the thing that we want to protect our kids from that so much, but it comes up sooner or later. Sooner or later, it's coming.
And I'll tell you what, and I'm not kidding, that's one of the reasons I didn't have kids. I I couldn't handle it.
Yeah.
I don't know how they would. The other reason is because I really hate kids. But I honestly, when each one of my nieces or nephews would go off to college, because I had such a miserable experience, I'd go, call me if you need anything. Call me. I'll come pick you up. I don't care. Like, it's going to be, I hope it's not horrible. They had the best college career. They had so much fun. And I go, thank God nobody got date raped. Because, you just wonder. But there's always that time I go, I can't protect them. So they're only my nieces and nephews. I don't have kids.
It is true that you, as much as you want to protect, it's impossible.
Oh, I don't know how you parents do it. I don't know.
Well,
I'll never be writing a play called Parenting. I don't know shit.
I mean, one day I hope to have children. Who knows whether it happens or not? But I mean, ones that I like this time. And I really that won't disappoint me. Well, I will tell you this. And this is a promise. We're going to be there to see you.
Oh,
and
thank
to
you.
me, and Gail is a giant lover of the theater. This is the New York experience to have.
Oh, yes.
And to walk in that theater and literally think of Nora Ephron, and that
I can't believe it.
It's amazing, right?
Yeah.
It's amazing. So congratulations to you. Chris, read out all the things, but correctly this time.
All you have to read is the first paragraph, but insert telecharge.com. Go!
Previews for Stuff begin October 5th at the West Side Theater in New York City. Tickets are now on sale. Go to telecharge.com.
Where was that?
Telecharge.com.
Oh, my
Beautiful.
insides are happy.
Beautiful.
Thank you guys. I love you
We'll
guys.
see you soon.
Yes.
Love that, Lisa Lampanelli.
I love her, and I'm so excited for Stuffed.
You know what I really like that she says that Norton's always been nice to her.
I like that too.
That's the thing that people don't realize about Norton. He's one of the sweetest people ever. Probably would ruin his reputation.
I know. And I feel like I hear that from the ladies. They feel the need to clear the air on him and be like, just so you know.
Just so you know, I feel very safe in Jimmy's arms. He's a gentleman. That's where we get gentleman from, Chris. You forget that.
I do.
It's a gentleman.
He's a gentleman.
Yeah. I, on the other hand, have the same reputation as Mr. Bill Cosby.
Oh, God.
God.
Oh my God.
Oh, dear God.
He's in the zeitgeist right now. The zeitgeist is filled with Bill Cosby stories.
This is so topical.
Now, I understand that Bill isn't doing what we were hoping he was going to do, the sexual assault tour.
Yeah.
Or he was planning to do that, and those people are going, no, Bill, we're not doing that. So I don't know, what will he be speaking about, Chris?
They're not going to be, they're not about sexual assault.
Let's just take it easy for a second. And remember, you're a what? A
son.
Yes, a son.
I'm glad that he answered that because I was like, producer? Producer.
You got very Florida.
I know.
They're not about sexual assault. They're going to be about the restoration of his legacy.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense.
The sexual assault thing was so
You're going to get fucking protests. But here's the funny thing about Bill. He could easily live behind big fucking gates comfortably the rest of his life.
Yeah.
But he wants to be on stage. He wants to be on stage talking.
Yes. But I do agree, like, I was kind of hoping for this insane controversial tour over that. Either way, you're right. People will protest him, speaking at any event. But the initial them coming out and saying that that's what he was going to tour about, discussing how to get out of rape charges when people accuse you of rape, is just like such a strange idea to do that.
I could see Duke lacrosse team doing this, because apparently, you know what? There's one thing I never really followed the story enough, was the Duke lacrosse team. And I will admit this. So I hear, there was some kind of gang rape with the Duke lacrosse team. And I probably thought to myself, thought so.
Mm-hmm.
Duke lacrosse players are like that. And then never again did I hear the story until they were found innocent. And I never really found out much about what happened.
All I know is that the men's rights people really enjoy talking about the Duke case. But I don't really know exactly what went down, just that they feel,
But a woman lied, apparently, and admitted to lying. And these were innocent guys whose lives were fucking ruined. Now, like you said, that doesn't mean every time that a woman accuses it, there isn't some truth to it or whatever. I mean, most of the time we wish we would just let the law handle it, Yes, but that I do know that like men's rights groups will always be like, if it doesn't happen, then explain Duke to me. I just know. Yes, but that is a legitimate point to make.
And it's of the same point that you would make if you were against the death penalty. You could cite the reasons that it's a bad idea because
one innocent person.
Yes.
Is
not worth.
Well, I mean, let's be honest. Do most things needed to be tried in the press? You know what I mean? Like, the only thing about the press is that's hopefully to keep the entire system honest and not just a chance to titillate those who want to know more details.
Well, it is always weird whatever case the press decides to grab a hold of and say, this is the one we're paying attention to.
Do me a favor, look up and see if there's a 30 for 30 for the Duke lacrosse case. And if there is, I vow to give it a listen. You have my vow as an on-air radio personality to give it a listen. Why don't we steal away?
But it is like, what do you think it is that you just the media will just decide to focus on one murder case versus another? Certainly celebrity has to do with it, but when you take celebrity out of a case,
it is always comes down to the same thing. It's a heinous crime at a good address. So a person gets stabbed in the Upper East Side is a much more interesting story than a person gets stabbed in the Bronx.
Right.
A person gets stabbed in East New York. That's never a story. But this isn't a recent thing. You go back to hundreds of years. As long as we've had print, that story, the wife of a powerful person has him killed. That is a way more interesting story than a woman in a bad neighborhood stabs her abusive husband in the neck. It just doesn't interest people.
Yeah.
But there are times that there are certain stories that you would think would go big, and they don't. I don't think the big Bill Cosby case was anywhere near as big as it would have been at other times. And I think Donald Trump had a lot to do with it. He's in the news quite a bit.
But yeah, in any other time, I think it would have, maybe not as big as OJ, but it would have been the OJ case of this time. You know what I mean? It wouldn't have been bigger than that. But yeah, I think that right now there's also a lot of places and things places to go get news as well. So we're just like really saturated with, what's going on with Trump, what's going on with politics.
It's all Trump. Yeah. I mean, of all the places that we have to go, no matter where you go, it's Trump. And if people will like listen to the show and they go, why are you talking about Trump again? You're like, what the fuck? It's everywhere. It's the only conversation.
It would actually be weirder to not. Just like if you completely ignored it all the time, that would be a little strange because you're like, hey, everybody's talking about this thing, but I'm not going to do it.
It's always funny to me to listen or watch any kind of sports and see that they try to drum up something. And, you know what I mean? Like, I can't get overly excited about the basketball draft because I don't know whether these guys are going to be any good.
I hate the draft.
I don't. All the drafts do you hate?
I don't like the NFL draft either. And there's an MLB draft, but no one pays attention to it.
Well, that's normally you're drafting high school guys.
Yeah.
Tebow has moved up. What did he go from? Is it single A to double A?
He went from low single to high single, so now he's in Port St. Lucie.
So now he's literally in single A.
Now, yeah, he's just in he's one step away from double A. He's just closer to double A than he was a week ago.
Now people are going, and what his batting average is terrible.
It's low.
Right?
It's like a .22. It's 222. He only has 3 home runs. 2 of those were in the first 3 games.
So there's 2 people saying that. There's 2 different vantage points. A, I can't believe that TiVo is moving up when he only batted 222. Or, I told you this guy had something, he's moving up. And both of those things are ridiculous because this is just about T-shirt sales. Now, anybody who's a Tebow fan and that collects everything that will have a new shirt to buy.
And part of it was just to get him to Florida because he has the fan base over there. So now that he's going to be in Port St. Lucie, he'll get all those FSU fans.
Yeah, but he also is, first of all, he didn't go to FSU.
Sorry.
So thanks for not knowing what the fuck you're talking about. Because he's straight Gator.
Yeah.
He's like, he'll make a Gator chop. But I think he's got fans anywhere. I think it's one thing to just bring up his Florida fans, but I think if he was playing in ball in Iowa, believe me, when I was down in the Carolinas, I was like, is Tebow playing anywhere close? And I was anti him playing.
Right.
I was anti. I was like, Tebow playing anywhere close to here? Just, if we're going to take a little drive. There was no reason for it. Right. Just so I could come back here and say, fucking Vito. Saw Tebow the other day. It's not so good. You made a mistake by liking Tebow. But that's what happens to you. You get caught up to it.
Right.
And I think he's certainly the most famous virgin of these times. Normally, you've got to sleep with somebody before you get to be that popular.
And there is a 30 for 30 on the Duke lacrosse team, and it looks like it's on Netflix.
That's perfect because I'm a part of Netflix. I'm
subscriber.
I'm a subscriber in good standing. And by that, I think I have a relative who's a subscriber, and I use theirs. And I remember I said, let's get our own, and I was told, come on, what's the difference? They don't care. It's only a couple bucks. I just don't want trouble. That's all. Why don't you steal away? What is our next GPS, Chris?
That we're going to be airing this weekend, this Saturday, July 1st. It'll be London. We're replaying London in the 60s.
Well, why aren't we replaying London in the 60s songs all week this week?
We should have been.
Let's do that then.
Who can be that person who's in charge of making sure that we do the promos correctly? All right, I want everyone to have a pen and write it down. Jen, I want you to be part of this as well. And whoever is going to win this will get the annoying responsibility of the person. Jen, come on in here, too, so we can see that you're not cheating. I just feel like a lot of times why people are, writing down their stuff, they cheat.
Mm-hmm. We don't want to.
I also wanted to talk to Jen about something else as well. Vito, who should be in charge of the fact that we were playing the London stuff and promoting this week? And by the way, I thought since it's 4th of July weekend, an American thing would have made a lot more sense. And again, a good promo person would have been in charge of that. Vito, who should be in charge?
I think Jen would be a good promo person.
Interesting. Jen, who do you have?
Oh, wait, hold on.
Oh, my God. See, this is why I forced her. This is why I forced her, because I know she couldn't be trusted. Chris, who do you have?
I locked in Jen.
Okay.
Interesting. Yeah. I wrote Jen of Let's Dish fame.
Jen, what do you have?
I'll put myself again.
And I put me. Because I'm the only one who brought it up now, as if there was a problem. So to me, if we don't realize there's a problem, how's the problem going to be solved? Vito, answer that question. And back over to you, Chris, to counter. Gail, what do you think on it?
I would say that we're going to
have
to
Jen, back to you. And let's wrap this up by agreeing that I was correct in the first place.
I guess so. I think that's what we've landed on.
Hands up, right hand in the air if they agree with me, left hand if they disagree. All right, why are we having two hands up? That means we just scored a... Chris said nobody scored a touchdown.
Chris
thinking about Tebow in my mind.
I got word from Don, and this is embarrassing, but wondering if somebody could do Let's Dish as a promo to be a sponsor. And it's ridiculous because it's an actual tie-in in a weird way.
Really? This is huge.
So I had to say, I don't know how often we're going to do it. It's like the Bennington barometer. Like we do it 9 days in a row and then forget to do it ever again. By the way, who should be responsible? Let's all write down who they think is responsible that the bits are done in a timely fashion. Vito, I'm going to go to you first.
I'm going to vote for myself.
Chris?
I voted for Vito.
I wrote Big Vito.
I put myself again.
And I put me because I'm the only one who thought of it. Vito never will. He doesn't know things don't go well, but I will say this about Vito. You win the gold medal in Eating Fast. He was fully done.
Yeah.
Yeah, and normally that's Chris's role.
No, never can Chris eat on Vito's level.
I look like shit in front of him.
Yeah, I don't realize I'm done until I look up and everybody's like cutting into their food.
You just breathed it in. I watched you and it was like seeing something like they seemed like there was CGI involved.
Yeah. Was that your first meal? I mean,
I will even use water to get the bread down like a hot dog eater.
What did he say?
Because he's gonna.
He was dipping his bread in water.
Yes, he's trying to make.
No, I wasn't dipping my bread in water. I literally
like a competitive eater.
I was like eating my burger, and with every bite, I was just swallowing the water to like push it down.
But wouldn't it be funnier if you said you were dipping your bread in, and then that's what competitive eaters do? Chris, what do you think?
Yes, 100% Ron right.
You just said 100% Ron right.
100% Ron right.
Really bad English. So there is the possibility. No, there's actually at a point now a probability this thing that we were goofing around with will be sponsored. So let's dish.
Put on your headphones, Jen's got the news. Let's dish to the gossip they're saying on the radio.
I'm going to dish about myself before we get started.
Oh, interesting.
Vito, you know how I like to make fun of anyone who cares about viral videos?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Gail sent the Interrobang a viral video this weekend that I watched 140 times. Calling people, sending them to friends of mine, then actually calling and go like this. Did you get that viral video he sent? Like, I took credit for this. And that's the gorilla in the kiddie pool. gave me more joy, and this probably sounds sad, than my children ever did.
Damn it! But here's the thing. I sent you that video, so in many ways, I gave you that joy.
I didn't give you any credit. It seemed like the way that I took credit for this, it's like I shot it, or this was my gorilla. Now, Chris, have you taken a gander at it yet?
I have not seen it, no.
All right, now what you see, and this is up on the iBang under what is the headline?
It is Dancing Gorilla in Kiddie Pool Knows How to Beat the Heat.
First of all, that's a hilarious title because Beat the Heat gets used by weather people.
I'm a big fan of Beat the Heat.
It really is. You ready to beat the heat this weekend?
Yes.
How about this? A sprinkler. You know, like they come up with things that everyone always knows. How about putting some ice in your tea?
Write that down.
Really cools you off.
Beat the Heat is the best.
Now we're going to go out on the streets and see how some of the people are beating the heat this weekend. What have you been doing? Just decided to put on a tank top, and instead of long pants, I got shorts on. Congratulations for beating the heat.
Back to you, Bob.
Yeah. I put the air conditioner on, and I leave it on. I like...
Interesting.
These are tips that... Think of the oldest person that you know, right? That person knew this at 2. You know what I mean? You don't have to tell people how to cool off. Dive into the ocean. Seems like Wildwood is humming this weekend. So there is a gorilla in a baby pool, right? In a kiddie pool. Now, already adorable. Okay? You can't beat the fact that this gorilla, no one put him in... climbed into this kiddie pool. Now, keeping an eye on the grill. Go ahead and hit it. So splashing around, already adorable.
All right.
And now, ready? What a feeling! It's doing a flash dance.
Holy shit! Loves it.
Loves it and loves splashing herself.
He's so happy.
Now, there are certain times that look at Vito laughing like he's the girl. There were certain times, hit pause now, because I definitely will want to come back to it. I'm like, I had this thought. First of all, so cute. But if anyone knows anything about gorillas, 844 Rock God, 844 Rock God, do gorillas not lay down in the pool? Did they only splash themselves to cool off? I don't know. Vito, what's your guess? Jen, what's your pull on it? Chris?
Upright.
And upright. Upright doesn't even answer. Upright, Ron. That's right, Ron.
100% upright, Ron.
100%.
So you're saying they would not lie down in a pool?
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
But she's so...
Video evidence.
She has, human level enjoyment.
Yes.
You see an animal enjoy something, but that's the way you would just see, someone in pure ecstasy.
Dude.
This is the best day of my life. She's just,
This is the best fucking day!
She's a maniac.
But the other part of that, too, is, there were times I slowed it down and going, is that a person in a gorilla suit? Because it had such human personality.
Amy, good gorilla. Amy, love kiddie pool.
Hey, Jenny, what's up?
Hello?
Hey, how are you?
Hi, it's Jenny Hutt. How are you?
Oh,
Hi,
my God. None of our people know who Jenny Hutt is? And they just put up Jenny.
Hutt.
Yeah.
I said I'm Jenny Hutt. I swear.
Who's on the phones today?
We got Spencer Berger on the phone.
Oh, so Spencer's no.
Yeah.
He's no. He like you. He's from Long Island. And Jenny, by the way, I'm pretty sure that you know his mom.
Spencer's mom because he's from Long Island. Oh, I do.
Yes, there you go. Right.
Oh, wait a minute. I saw her at the nail salon, and she told me that he was working for your show, and I said it's the best training in radio he will ever get.
He's great. We just love him, but this Jenny Hutt thing was a setback for him. All right, so you wanted to talk about the gorilla, Jenny?
Yes. The other night, I showed it to my husband, and he said it's the best thing he's seen maybe in his life, that this could be it for him. And I actually call my husband my silverback. So
Oh, that's cute.
That's really cute.
Yeah, because he's always picking the flies off you. Now, this is also true. men like gorillas. And I remember even being a little kid going, I really like a gorilla.
Yeah. Well, it's the best. I mean, I love how much joy it gave you, Ron.
Yeah.
Because it's just the cutest. It's just the cutest thing. And there's a lot of different versions of it with different music.
Oh, is that right? It's one of the things that the kids are picking up on. Well, I'm glad your Silverback enjoyed this. Jen, when do you come in? You just do the show out of your house now?
I do the live show out of my house, but I'll be in tomorrow to talk to Adie Bryan. So that's fun.
Smart move for you. Smart move.
Anyway.
All right. Thanks, honey.
I love listening to you. I listen every day. Goodbye.
All right. Bye-bye, honey.
Yeah, bye.
Isn't that funny when first she was insulted when I'm like, you probably know Spencer's mom, but it really has to do with that because of Jenny's dad.
Yeah.
You know, they all know it. And I know that at least which was one of Spencer's mom's client is a good friend of Jenny's.
Oh, really? Which one? Write it down.
Well, it's going to make total sense to you when I write it. Chris, you will not be saying this because I can't trust you.
He'll say 100% Ron.
100% the person's name that you wrote down.
Yes, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm. Let's dish.
Okay, well, this one's from the iBang.
Ooh.
It's a little clear up about the Bill Cosby lectures that he was going to be doing.
Yes.
So his people came out and they said that with civic organizations and churches who want to hear Mr. Cosby speak at town halls about the issue of criminal justice, which they were basically insinuating that he was going to be talking to these places about sexual assault. Mm-hmm. So it ended up like trending on Twitter and people were talking about it. Like,
now,
how is he going to talk about sexual assault?
Let me just ask you this, Jen.
Yeah.
Because you did not grow when Cosby was America's dad.
Yeah.
You were not around then. Do you believe, just in your gut, he's guilty or innocent?
In my, I believe he is. I don't know. It's hard. At first, I thought that he was not guilty.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, okay, because I felt like, why did these women wait so long?
It's always surprising when women say that to me. I get men saying that because they're dumb. But women often, I mean, it's a thing, and women do not report sexual assault.
Right.
Down to the point where a lot of men don't even know they committed sexual assault.
Yes.
Yeah.
And actually, this would be a pretty good indicator of why they don't, because it's very uncomfortable coming forward. It's very uncomfortable doing this. Mm-hmm. And then if they don't prove this person to be guilty, everyone's like, why'd you lie about this thing?
Yeah. Look, something's been going on for probably the past 2 years. And every chance I get, I feel up Vito. Now, he doesn't report it for two reasons. One, he likes the attention.
That's good.
He misses human touch. It's really
just, he likes to know, like he's being paid attention to.
I love it.
And then two, he doesn't know how to express himself properly.
Yeah, I mean, I really enjoy when we have those moments together.
Well, see, enjoy is not what I'm looking for. So, Jen, Chris, guilty, not guilty? Just your gut.
Not guilty.
Vito.
Guilty.
God.
Yes.
In my gut, I would say guilty of some of these rapes. At least some of these many rapes.
There's been 50 people that said that he raped. I'm saying that's a drop in the bucket for the amount of people that he actually raped. But you would see, just looking around here, we would have 3.
Yep.
We would have 1 definitely not guilty, and Chris is dug in.
Definitely not.
And Jen's not sure.
Right.
And no amount of evidence is going to make her sure because it's all out there. So you see, we would have a hung jury.
Hung.
Or as Bill Cosby called it, a well hung jury. Let's dish. But that's interesting, right?
Yeah. It's very, it is very interesting.
I just feel like, I wanted to wait for the trials because it was like, in the beginning when it was only a few women, and then I'm like, okay, like let's wait till let him go to trial first. Like everyone was already saying he was guilty before they went to trial.
Well, because normally when 50 separate people have almost the exact same, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the fact is, people act like you can't have an opinion, but we do.
Yes.
We all have opinions. And then B, they didn't even offer a defense. Like when I heard that, there wasn't even defense because they picked the jury knowing there would be some people that would go, no, I don't believe women.
Yeah.
I just don't
now,
believe.
I think that I would normally be a good juror on a case like this, but this one I would not be because I have already made up my mind as a character witness because I heard a story once a long time ago, which I think years ago I discussed on this show.
You would be kicked off.
That I would say, I honestly can't sit here and not have a judgment because to me, when I heard that story, I go, everything makes sense because it was a story about power and control.
Yes.
And it was, to me, so eerie and creepy.
And you heard that before you even heard that.
I heard this story before I ever heard. And it made me kind of think back on maybe even the circumstance of that story could have even maybe involved something of what he is known for doing.
I could not be on his jury because I met him and I felt like he treated me like Theo. But I also would be a bad juror most places.
Yeah.
And I actually had a judge tell me that I would be a bad. And this came down to this. It was, I'm on they had a jury and it was a guy selling heroin and it was close to a school. So there was going to be added to that. You're familiar with this, Chris?
Yeah, it's some however many feet you get. It's like a bigger felony,
right,
for getting by school.
So I got on and and they put you in the little box and you have to swear to it. And I said, well, first of all, I live in Manhattan and you have elementary, middle, and high schools as well as colleges. You're never more than a few feet from a school wherever you go.
Mm-hmm.
Also, people buying heroin doesn't mean that you're selling it to the kids. You're on the street.
Right.
And then I said, and when you really think about it, kids are more likely to drink alcohol and bars are somewhat closer to schools. So why does heroin get the thing? And the judge goes, I'm not asking you to rewrite the laws. I'm saying, can you follow the laws? And I go, the following unjust law is in this case, would be wrong. I see heroin and alcohol the same exact way, Your Honor. And I also think a lot of shit happens next to schools that you're not trying to bring the kids. Like, I'm sure, let's say you were getting blown in a car near a school.
All right.
You don't want the fucking kids from the school but you're not turning down a blowjob, Your Honor. So, I mean, he actually got furious with me in seconds because I was acting like is the law itself.
Right. And the law is not on trial.
The law is not on trial. They didn't ask me to figure out whether the law was just. They just wanted me to say, can you say yes or no? This guy was selling heroin close to a school.
Right.
That's the case, Your Honor. No. This case is about so much more than what you have lined up. So I would be bad on a jury.
Yeah.
I also saw a thing where I was actually looking. There were a bunch of us sitting there, and the defendant was there, and the guy who was his lawyer was talking to us, and I'm looking at the defendant. I'm going just like, and shaking my head, and he's looking at me like, get another lawyer, get another lawyer, because this fucking defense lawyer was terrible. Like me, I could have stepped up there and done a much better job.
Yeah.
Despite the lack of school. I can't tell you how bad this defense lawyer was, though.
Yeah, that's infuriating when you see, and that could happen on either way. Like you could get a shitty, cheap defense lawyer, or just like you see like the prosecution, just like you're going, what the come on, this is the best that you guys could put together. It is really frustrating when you see that.
I've had terrible public defenders before, and it's just I'm telling them what to maybe you should try to get it thrown out. I don't know. Maybe you should try to test whether or not that was actually drugs. Please, anything.
Your Honor, clearly this man is a piece of shit. You're not helping.
Oh, I got another dish about myself. I got something passed on to me from a very well-known comedian. I am sorry if your mother passed away, blah, blah, blah. And then I started hearing that from other people. And I go, well, if that's, and he goes, is it true that your mom passed away? And I go, if it's true, I'm hearing it from you. And then what happened is John in Virginia, who called us the other day, his mom passed away. But I guess his thing looks like Bennington or says Bennington in it somewhere.
Like his handle is Bennington's, yeah.
So somebody thought it was me. Like, you know how I am. If I have a personal matter, I'm going to put it right on Twitter immediately.
Get out there.
So I'll just say to John in Virginia, sorry for your loss and not trying to steal any of the heat you should be getting, but I got to send some flowers down to you. Because there were certain people that thought that was my mom.
And texted you with a lot of concern.
Yes, I heard from quite a few people. But that's the problem with the old goddamn internet, isn't it? It's not perfect. It's the only internet we have. Until next season of Silicon Valley, when we come up with our own internet that is going to be powered by refrigerators.
It's too cold, this internet.
Let's move on to the next dish.
So Johnny Depp, he divorced his wife or ex-wife, Amber Heard. And at the time, she was saying that he was abusive towards her in the relationship, and he said no, and it was a huge thing. Well, now his management team is confirming that he did, I guess, get physical with Amber Heard.
Why would they tell? Why would his management team
what
report
would
on it?
push them to speak out about it?
I guess, like, they were upset the fact that he was saying, oh, no, I didn't do it, but now, you know...
Now they're having
no longer his management team. I'm not looking for the most honest management team. I'm looking at a management team that helps me.
Why?
Johnny, the truth is best for you, and we're going to go forward with
I'm Ron's management team, and I believe he blew that jewelry thing a little out of proportion. He added to it to make it a little more entertaining. Amber Heard. I'll just say this. I was at a party once. Amber Heard was there. And someone goes like this, who farted? And I go like this, I don't know, but Amber Heard. And then we all laughed. By the way, I left my phone at home today and I couldn't feel crazier.
It's a very bad feeling when you leave your phone. It's a really strange, panicky feeling.
There was a 60 Minutes about this last night, that every human being now has a phone on them and we're weird without it. And I'm going like this. I wouldn't be. And yet now I'm like, I feel weird without a phone.
Yeah, I think about just before the smartphone kind of craze, when everyone had cell phones and you could text. I remember, like, when I was in college, I would go out or I would go out for the day and I would leave my phone in my room. Like, I would just be like, oh, I don't need to call anyone. So if I need to call anyone, I'll just go get it. Like, it just didn't seem like a big...
By the way, you know how we hate the internet. We think it's the worst thing for us.
Yeah.
But would this change your opinion? Sweaty Chris Stanley in the gorilla pool? God damn. Chris, you want to do that with you splashing around.
Chrissy, love, kiddie pool.
What movie is that from?
That's from Congo, where the gorilla can do sign language, and then there's a translator on her, and then she'll say, "Amy, good gorilla. Amy, pretty Amy. Amy want raindrop drink. She wants to drink a dirty martini, and she calls it a raindrop drink. I don't know why that happens. Amy want raindrop drink."
Now, if you wrote The Day of the Dolphin, wouldn't you try to sue those people? All right, so now we're going to have a jury vote. Did he smack Amber Heard around? Did Johnny Depp? Vito, your vote.
Guilty. Not guilty.
Yeah.
Guilty because I saw the wine video.
He's just angry.
Based on...
Guilty or not guilty?
I think guilty.
I'll just say this. Defending himself. Did he do it? Yes. Is it a crime? Not if you spend any time with Amber Heard.
So the next story is Charlie Sheen is being sued by his ex-girlfriend for giving her.
By the way, good, another jury trial.
Oh, good. I can't wait. I'm just gonna have my not guilty and guilty ready.
We need people's court stuff because really our Let's Dish is turning into jury trial.
Well, he's being sued by his ex-girlfriend for giving her HIV. And this is how she's saying that it went down. She says that at first they used latex condoms, but they did have unprotected oral sex, and then they had unprotected intercourse, and she gives the date. And then she's saying that Sheen told her that he was, after they had sex, he told her that that he was HIV positive and gave her two pills to prevent the transmission. So now she's saying that he's blaming her for the exposure and told her he was noble for telling her about his HIV status at all. Which I think you're supposed to tell them, right? If you have a HIV. And she said that she also
First of all, why are you asking that? Did you think I have it?
Don't you always say that?
No. So my thing is this. You're with fucking Charlie Sheen, right? You put that dirty dick in your mouth. I mean, it was, to me, this same thing is, if you lick a subway pole, can you then fucking sue the city that you have smallpox? No. Gail? Guilty? Not guilty.
I'm going to go guilty.
Wait, which one is guilty, Sheen or her?
Oh, Sheen is guilty of the dirty dick.
Okay. Jen?
I'm going to say guilty.
Vito?
I'm going to let Charlie off the hook on this one and say not guilty.
Not guilty, Sheen. He gave her those pills.
What? Giving the pills makes him look guilty. Like you can't hand out pills to people. You have to say before the sex, I got the HIV, brother. I'm holding the HIV.
We just keep on with his hung jury every time. We can't agree on any of these cases.
By the way, can we get that People's Court music louder so that we can't even hear ourselves? You'd think there's a level to it. Yeah, we've had nothing but hung juries. That, or I like to call it a William hung jury. You know? What? He just went, no. That's my sense of humor. I act like I like the shitty singers, but I like the good singers.
I just saw out of the corner of my eye Chris and the kiddie pool again.
It's fucking hilarious.
Chrissy loves Splashy.
Let's see who was behind this. Do we have a name on it?
I'll find it.
So our next dish.
Oh, good. Next dish.
This was not a jury.
Well, we'll make it.
So, the Tupac movie came out recently, and John Singleton, who was he was the original writer for the script, and now he's beefing with L.T. Hutton and everyone else that made the movie, saying that originally there was a draft written by him that said that Tupac was raped in prison. It's a scene where he's raped in prison, and also that Tupac walked in on his mom and a guy and a girl, basically like kind of having a threesome. Well, actually, he didn't say that Tupac was raped, but he insinuated it.
Well, I've heard from people that this Tupac movie is like almost like a soap opera or something. Like it's not
Really?
a well-made movie. It's like what are those movies they make fun of the whole channel for women for watching?
Lifetime movies.
Yeah.
Lifetime. That's it. I had to say it out loud before. All right, some people want to jump back into the Johnny Depp talk, and I don't know why Vito can't run this thing. I just saw that all the lines were lit for the longest time, and now they all just went up. Bruce, what's your beef, buddy?
Well, I just want to let you know that Johnny Depp is suing his management firm for mismanaging his money. So now they're exposing all of his crazy spending and saying whatever they can to defend themselves, I guess.
Well, isn't it funny that the people of a certain age, generation, he and Nick Cage, went crazy spending when you hear like, oh, they bought 11 houses and they had to be served champagne so they could fill up their fucking hot tub with it.
Yeah.
You know, like dumb spending.
But you know what bothers me about this is like, this is not the management company saying like, you know what, we're not okay with what we did and we feel bad about covering it up. This is like, oh, you fucked with our money, then we'll tell your secrets.
Yeah, people
like,
do that.
Like, oh, you're going to sue me, then like, so then there's no moral reason that they came out and did this. So they were willing to be quiet on this whole issue.
Yeah, like sometimes like Don will come to me and he'll be like, Chris said that you didn't do the voiceover stuff I asked for. And I'll go like this. Oh, Chris, who calls all women the C word. Oh, God. And then he'll be like, he does that? I go, yeah. Don, ask around. And then I'll be out of it.
Sure.
That's what I always do. So that's how quickly I turn the tables. Yeah.
People don't like me around here.
And they're like, why didn't you do the commercials that Chris was supposed to record? I go, maybe I don't want a guy rubbing his genitals on me. And he goes, he does that? I go, yeah, ask around. And then I go like this. As of right now, I have an appointment.
All you need to do is plant that seed.
Yeah. I plant the seed, then I get out of there. I don't wait around for things to grow and then try to harvest them myself. That's for roops, okay? I'm very Machiavellian that way. And then Chris doesn't know this, but I had the password to his email account.
What?
And I'll just write out some either racial things to different people. I got muddy in the water. I muddy the water.
Yeah.
And then people are like, well, Ron fucks up a lot, but he's not like Chris.
Right.
You know, Chris is a real problem.
I guess I'm a racist. People think I'm a racist.
That's one of the things people think you are.
Oh, God. They think any good things?
No, of course not, Chris.
The best thing they think about you is that you smoke, have a small internal meltdown, and do nothing about it.
I mean, you got this gorilla kiddie pool thing going for you. That's a nice association.
I mean, I look really comfortable.
By the way, who did that?
At Jerk Store Sean.
That's a great one, Jerk Store. You should be very proud of yourself. All right, give me another dish.
The dish has been served.
I liked voting on the dish.
I know, I felt bad.
I want to add this to an element of dish. You know, real hot on the hat, as you like to say. We dish, and then we play jury.
All right, this was sent. I thought it might be a good dish. She's Gotta Have It launches on Netflix everywhere this Thanksgiving. A 10-episode contemporary remake. That's the Spike Lee thing.
Yeah, I love. That's like maybe my favorite Spike movie.
That was his first.
Yeah,
right?
I love that movie so much.
And who were the stars of that film?
I can't think. I mean, you know, Spike's in it,
right?
But I can't think of that girl's name who's the main character. But she's so good.
Tracy Camilla Jones.
No, you remembered it or you looked it up?
I looked it up.
Okay, good. Because there for a second I was like, that film education really paid off.
I had his sister was my professor, Joie.
Yeah,
First of all, I love her.
He was my professor for 2 years.
The same sister that he used in the...
Yeah, same sister.
Now, you were interning here then, right?
I had her the 2 years before I interned here.
Why wouldn't you fucking bring her in once and become a hero for yourself?
I mean, right, maybe I can hit her up now.
It's too late.
No, she loved me. She met my mom, acted in one of my movies, and she said to my mom, I like when people use their family members in movies.
Oh. Put up a picture of her. Because I always found her to be crazy sexy.
She was a regular at a restaurant I worked at, too.
What?
Yeah. So we all have connections.
Everybody fucking knows her but me. Spencer's like, I'm going to Miami with her for my birthday. Isn't she crazy sexy?
Yeah, very much.
Mm-mm. So I saw a comedian with a really hot fucking chick the other night, and then I said to somebody who works there, wow, man, she's unbelievable, huh? And he said to me, she's all right. Now,
The person who's dating this person said that?
No.
Or another person?
A barback said it to me. All right? About a stunning woman. And I'm saying that because she somewhat resembles the person that we're looking at, but much younger.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, she's all right. And I immediately thought to myself, I'll never fucking trust you about anything ever again.
I also think it's weird when people feel the need to do that. It's like someone says, like, oh, that's an attractive person, like, not a 10. It's like, what?
I don't know. I mean, if that's the thing, then maybe I'm wrong to even comment on somebody's attractiveness. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, but like, does someone have to be a 10 to notice somebody is beautiful or has something sexy about them?
I say they got to be a 3 for me to go.
Yeah.
Ooh la la!
I mean, the legs on this one. I mean, just the legs, nothing else.
Don't go any further. She's a butter body. Beep, beep. Here's the thing about the She's Gotta Have It, and I think is a mistake. They're using the same cast to do this.
Really? Wow. That's going to be strange.
Travis wants to help us with the Charlie Sheen, so please hold your juror vote. Sure. Travis.
Hey, good evening, guys, or good afternoon, or whatever it is nowadays.
Don't worry about it. You sound like Billy Bob Thornton now, which I think is great.
Well, I guess day drinking helps. Charlie Sheen, in regards to him, I know Missouri state law states prior to any type of sexual activity, you must inform your partner that you are HIV positive. Failure to do so is a criminal offense. So
me and Jen voted on the law.
You're on the right side of history here.
We are.
I thought he said he did tell her.
Yeah, no, after.
You can't tell somebody after.
You can't say it after. I mean, that's just awkward.
I thought he said he did the noble thing and told her up front. I didn't know he said it was
the fact he did it. He did it.
You know, if you want to be part of this, you got to listen.
Yeah, I'm a bad jury member.
No, you're bad at everything.
He's like,
this jury member's
I haven't been listening to a lot of the facts.
Like wipe them before you poop.
Well, I mean, you know, a lot of times it's a turnoff. Like you're right into that thing. You're just fucking, and then you're going to go like this. Let me just bring this up, and I hope it doesn't spoil the mood. But my cum is deadly.
It's so unsexy when you think about
yes,
it.
Yes, it is. It's really bad. You may notice some lesions on my penis. Those lesions. I don't know whether you get lesions or not. But you know, I can see how people, you get caught up in it. You know, you just get fucking caught up in the moment.
And he gave her the pills that make it okay.
The pills don't make it okay, dude. You can't say here's a quick cure for you.
Yes,
you have
and
to,
I don't think it's 100%
choice. Right. She's still out of the choice.
And the pill, by the way, is not just like you pop a pill. It's like you have to do it for like weeks on end. They're like these giant horse pills.
But that's not the way Chris takes pills. He takes 5 of them and never again.
He's like, I'll never get AIDS.
He's the only person. What is that? What is it? Privacet? Privacet. You're the only person who can't understand what you have to do with that.
I feel like I could say if I take one right now, like at 2:00, I feel like I'm good till 2:00 tomorrow.
You're only doing that if you do it at 2:00 every day.
Yes.
It takes a little time to get into your blood system.
And if you haven't taken them, you can't just like go, oh, I'll take 3 because I've skipped the last 3 days. It's not that kind of thing.
It's like an antibiotic. You can't just take a couple antibiotics and you're fine. Even if you feel better, you can't stop taking the antibiotic until the doctor says. You have to take it for, I don't know, 14. I'm going to say 14 days. All right, that's what I learned in med school. We call it med school, okay? Kurt Metzger was running the class.
I had no idea.
Yeah. He's a genius.
So, Chris, as it turns out, you know nothing about pills.
Fuck.
You know what? Actually, I want to go back to your vote there.
Yeah.
Which one?
So you voted not guilty. That's not what they're called, voted. What do you call it? When you give your... I don't know what it is.
You give your jury thing.
Yeah. When you give your thing.
Yeah.
You said not guilty.
Yeah, not guilty.
And this is interesting to me as somebody who, at one time, you were, whoring around the city.
I was.
You were not wearing protection.
No.
And if somebody you were with was HIV positive and just decided not to tell you, you would have been somebody in that exact position.
Yeah. I'm going to give this to you and it explains everything. And this is from Tim Reiterman, who said, another thing about your jury, Big Wheel voted against the woman every time. And that is true, Wheel. You vote.
B-dubs.
Your thing is, got a penis, so I vote penis.
Mm-hmm. You vote with your dick.
You're literally your white dick, if we're going to be totally honest.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
That white dick, which is now the insignia of the Republican Party.
Oh, God.
Wouldn't that be great if they just have a flag with a white penis on it?
Just like a limp white penis.
Why is it going to be limp?
I just think it's better that way.
But did you notice that you voted against the woman every time?
I didn't realize
whether
that.
she was of color or also Caucasian.
So that shows that I'm not racist, at the very least.
What?
No, that doesn't show that you're not racist. It just shows that you're misogynist.
Okay.
But I was out to lunch with Chris, and this was a matter of 3 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
And he said to me, "Isn't it funny how women are so much less than men?" And I go, "First of all, Chris, what makes you say that?" And he just goes like this. He's eating, and he goes like this. Sports.
I thought
You're
we were
not good at
keep
sports.
that between us.
If sports is how we're judging people,
then he's a woman. He's every woman.
I don't see
when
gender.
it comes to sports.
But I do see Jackson nerds. Now, yeah, there could be girl jacks.
Yeah, but they're never as good as boy jocks.
Right.
The other day, John McEnroe said, who is the big tennis champion now that's so great?
Federer?
Yeah, you had it. Serena.
Williams,
Yeah.
right?
And he goes, yeah, for a woman, she's great, but she's about 700 when it comes to on the planet. There's 700 men that are better than her. And people get mad about it, but it is true. Men are physically stronger than women.
Yeah, well, that's why it makes sense for women to compete with women and men to compete with men.
Right.
Because physical ability, gender and physical ability, it exists. It's a real thing. So, that's like one of those things where it's like strange. We've discussed on why separate actors and actresses. Like, that's not a thing.
Right.
But your physical abilities and inabilities is a real thing. I always think about in that Fran Lebowitz documentary.
Yes.
She is talking, I think she was talking with Maya Angelou at the time. Like, Maya Angelou was interviewing her. And she asked her, is it possible for racism not to exist? And she's like, in theory, yes. Like, racism could end in theory. I don't think it will, but it could in theory. But the reason that sexism cannot is because our differences are more than skin deep. You know what I mean? Like,
did Maya Angelou say this or Fran Lebowitz?
Fran Lebowitz said this.
She said this to Maya Angelou.
Yes,
I would never talk to Maya Angelou about sex or racism since she seems to know much about both.
But she had made this statement that, that the difference between a black man and a white man, it really is skin deep. Like, she could just be like, okay, we've decided that you're this and that. But there are differences between men and women. I mean, and that's what makes that divide. So
here's where I would disagree. I think the second all that ends, and nationalism is as soon as Starship Troopers show up. As soon as there's giant bugs that show up on this planet, we're like, dude, we're all together. Muslims, come over here with Christians and Jews, and let's kill these giant bugs.
Right.
Men, women. Like, if you watch Starship Troopers, the men and women were showering together without being sexual about it because we got fucking bugs to kill. Okay?
Yes, we have.
So that at the time that those problems that we've had since the beginning of time, where we divide ourselves into tribes, will only change when there's a bigger tribe to worry about. In this case, giant bugs that can also launch stuff from their ass. Which that part of it I never understood.
Blue plasma things?
Yeah.
I don't care what it is. You're not getting anything out of the atmosphere.
Yeah.
Shooting it from your ass.
From your butthole.
It's not going to happen.
Yeah, because then, okay, if your butt has that much power, right? Like, you could shoot something from your ass with that much force, then how are you just like walking around on the earth and not just like destroying it? Like you have that much power
I didn't even think of it
within
that
your
way.
body.
I didn't even think of it that way. That's a good scientific way of thinking of it. I was just thinking that, I know how hard it is to shoot a rocket through that thing. Like an airplane can't get out,
Right.
An airplane can't do it. So nothing from your bug butt is going to do that. Not going to happen for you.
Bug butt, it can shoot into space.
Bug butt. Now is the time that everybody's watching their summer movies. I started watching this Red Oaks thing. I gotta say, we love weird summer movies in this country.
Yeah. I'm going to start watching Red Oaks.
Good. I'm
Is it
glad to have
Amazon?
you aboard. Amazon Prime. I'm part of the Amazon Prime.
Mm-hmm. Part of the network.
By the way, I'm gonna use my Amazon Prime for some free delivery before my vacation because I want to read on my vacation.
Nice.
And not watch television.
2-day shipping.
Hopefully it's less.
It can be.
I like to have a 2-hour shipping. Matter of fact, I want to get to Amazon Prime where they know what I want before I want it. And it just shows up at my house and they'll go, well, you have the feeling you wanted this. And then I'll go, I think your feeling is correct. Most of the stuff that they send like that will be chocolate based.
I do hate when, it's like really annoying when they'll start to send you ads because you search for something, but it's even more annoying when I'm like, yeah, I do want to actually check this out. Like I complain about it. Like if you search for a type of shoe and then people just keep sending you that and you're like, I don't want to, well, actually that is what I was looking for. So I'm going to go ahead and click on this.
Dude, I want to change my sunglass thing and I've been talking about this for weeks and I can't get it done. I cannot find a pair of sunglasses that can come. I mean, it even came up today when I was with Lisa.
Yeah.
But then like, isn't it funny how you just think that sunglasses will change your life? But I feel like I'm missing a sunglass.
Mm-hmm.
And that all the people in my life that I would normally bring that up to that would care, this summer don't care. They just don't care. They're like, I like those sunglasses on you. And I go, these sunglasses that I hate? No.
These sunglasses are junk.
And they're
These
like,
are junk.
You love those sunglasses. I go, I loved them last summer.
I need something new.
I need something new that's going to make people say, who's that guy?
It's like that really funny Eddie Pepitone bit where he says that his hat makes up for a life not very well lived. Like he just you bought a hat and he's like, this is going to change everything.
I've had jackets that I felt that way before.
I was going to say a coat or a pair of boots can do that because you live in them all winter. So you're just like, this is my winter look. I just figured out my winter look.
But let me tell you something. I've cut my winter coat way longer than I should because I can't find a coat that I like better.
Same. Yeah.
And I would actually think to myself, this coat that I love, is it older than Jen? Because I don't know why they don't make correct. There's a couple of raincoats that would be perfect for me, except for there's a few buttons I don't want to see. And I'm like this, does anyone make these without buttons? And they go, no. And I go, why not? They go like this, because that's where these are buttons that don't matter, okay?
Yeah.
These are buttons that serve no purpose. And they go, well, why don't you just cut the button off? I go, that's going to change the whole way the coat looks.
Yeah.
I can't get fucking happy now. And I'm not a person that cares about most things like that. I'm as comfortable as Chris. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But there's a couple things I would like: a nice fucking raincoat and a nice winter coat. Yesterday, Chris had a backpack and nothing looked less fucking natural than Chris Stanley with a backpack.
He doesn't. He does not look natural with one. I saw you wearing it, and you normally don't.
I rarely ever have a backpack on me, ever. But I had to pack an overnight bag to stay at my lady's place, and I had
Your special lady friend.
my special lady friend, and I either had a giant duffel bag or a fucking backpack. And I didn't want to bring one.
Can
change
I
of
just
clothes.
ask you something? You guys have told each other that you love each other, right?
Yes, we have.
Why don't you have a drawer there? What is she fucking holding back?
Shit, that's a good idea. I didn't even think of that.
Why
you haven't?
No.
That's like a step in I mean, I don't know how it is in other people's lives when maybe if you have a car, but in a New Yorker's life, it's very serious because the back and forth that goes on between I'm commuting to your apartment. What am I going to bring my toothbrush every time? Am I going to bring my jammy pants? No, I don't want to. I'm getting tired of this. I need a drawer for myself. And that's like pre-move-in. That's like a big step in a relationship. Like, oh, I got this little cubby for myself. I can keep all my little things in here. It's like I moved in.
I used to, when I lived in the suburbs, keep a bathroom bag and a change of clothing with me because I didn't know where I was going to wake up many nights. And some people found that to be gross. They're like, you're planning your blackouts ahead of time. You know what I mean? You're planning the fact that you're going to wake up in a weird fucking place with weird people.
Yes.
And I go, I know, but at least then I'll have some Listerine, some toothpaste, a fucking bar of soap that I trust.
Keep fresh.
Yes. But
I'm not an animal.
I had friends that thought, it's gross that you would even consider this. Just rather than trying to change your life so you're getting home and not waking up places that you don't want to use their towel. But I felt like it was a smart move to have. But Chris, you don't even get that from your fiance.
It's not my fiance.
Yes, your special lady friend.
You told each other you love each other, right?
Yes.
That's a fucking commitment of the heart, dude.
Yeah. Oh no, there is.
And what else is a fiance but a commitment of the heart?
Agreed.
Look, all you're saying when you're a fiance, you're engaged to be married later.
Yes.
Oh.
You're saying, I'm not getting married to this person today. There's too much in the air here.
Okay.
You know?
That's what a person of engagement. At a later date, we will wed. That's what you're saying. And you could say that. And then you could get your cubby.
Let me just ask this. Is this a person that you could picture yourself committed to?
I am committed to 100%.
That's engaged, motherfucker.
You're engaged.
Is that actually that's engaged?
So you're.
I just thought that was a monogamous relationship.
You're engaged, but you're a cheap fuck and you didn't buy her a ring.
You know what?
What the fuck?
There's something very true about the millennials, right? They're not buying diamond rings, and the diamond industry is freaked out about it. But I find, now, Jen, I'm sure you love diamonds, right?
Yeah.
I find them to be an antiquated idea, an idea whose time has come and gone.
They're ridiculous.
Not only that, the people who are buying there is a lot more people who are buying vintage pieces. So they're like older settings, whatever. They're not buying new diamonds, or they're buying alternative stones. They're buying ruby, sapphire, like things that they like
Class
visually.
rings.
Yeah.
They're saying, I love you and I marry you. Here's a class ring to prove it.
And I think also that millennials have probably been burned a little bit with the money situation, and so they probably aren't going to go, look, I've got all this college debt, I'm in debt for this. Look, they're not going to go, hey, let's also go in debt on this ring.
It's only at 3 months. Is it 3 months that they tell you to have a diamond ring?
Yeah, so.
That was just made up, by the way, by the diamond industry. It should be 3 months salary. In Chris's case, that would be $1,800. Now, I'd like to point this out. Well, I'm going to point it out to the planet Earth. There was a time, diamonds and gold, silver, these are precious, shiny things. So if you were a pharaoh in Egypt, a Roman emperor, a king in England, you would have something shiny that no one else has, okay? And you would sit and look at it, it's shiny. Now we have plasma TVs, we have what fucking value is there in gold that you can say it's worth that much? And who gives a shit? You have shiny, more interesting things than that. I say gold has zero value in this world. I say diamonds have zero value in this world. When someone goes, oh, you can make a zirconia thing, that's more interesting to me than digging a rock out of the fucking ground and pounding on it. That seems like something that bug eaters do.
I'd ask people, like, what's the problem with cubic zirconia? And they're like freaked out, like, no, you can never buy it. Or as they call it, CZ.
The fact that you're even looking at that proves that what Gail said when you're a cheap fuck.
Yeah, cheap
the
fuck.
fact that you're saying that because you You thought to yourself, I'm going to get myself one of those.
And that's what you want for your special lady friend? Piece of garbage like that?
Look, let me tell you something. Your special lady friend is a wonderful person.
Thank you.
Okay? To me,
She is.
she's Costa Rican royalty. Now, I will tell somebody this last night. I had to grab a map to show Chris where Costa Rica was. He thought it was an island somewhere near Jamaica. I go, dude.
I would have sworn.
I go, dude, it's in Central America. I'm going to tell you the truth. It's not exactly where I thought it was in Central America, but I'm not dating that special lady friend. Chris is. But it's just a beautiful Central American country. It's a lovely country. My friend Flats goes there for cocaine and underage prostitutes, and he enjoys it very much.
There's also a rainforest. Did you ever check that out?
Yeah, because he goes outside hiking. Come on, Chris.
He's the outdoorsy type.
He's never been awake during the daytime in his life. Him at night in a rainforest, it's frightening. Now, all right. TC wrote this. Doesn't a backpack on Chris look like a fanny pack?
Ouch. It's fat shaming.
A little bit. It does.
I think it is Chris shaming. Would you be willing to go to Costa Rica with her?
Yeah, I'll go to
and
Costa
meet
Rica.
her exes.
What?
And fight them. Fight them to the death. In Costa Rica, they tie your wrists together and you're forced to keep stabbing till one of you is the victim.
Sounds kind of intense.
By the way, so Chris texted me one night, and I'm sure he was high or drunk, and said, "What was it? Which museum?
The National Museum of Natural History."
All right, tell me exactly. Go back and look where you, because I want to get this through. Because I want us all to know what we're dealing with here.
All right, so I'm watching John Wick 2. It's late at night, and then I text Ron this at 10:38. Fucking John Wick 2 is like a commercial for the Natural History Museum.
Okay. Now, I watched John Wick 2 over the weekend now, based on Chris Stanley's text to me. No, not really. Now, John Wick 1, or John Wick, as we used to call it back then.
We had no idea.
It was a surprise to me. It was an action film, and I had to say to myself, I'm enjoying this action film. This is, what kind of fighting do they call it?
Gun fu.
All right, gun fu, where you're punching with guns.
Yeah.
And there's a red mist that pops out. I liked one. It was surprisingly fun, interesting action movie. Second one, a video game that I got to watch. Wasn't as good. But there are, and I'll repeat this, 2 scenes with the Natural History Museum.
Look, dude, I think there was too many. I think they got paid, the museum paid the production company to put them in the fucking movie.
Who cares?
I just thought it was weird.
Is that text worthy, though? Even if that is a theory that you have.
thought I was going to see 80% of the movie. And I'll say less than 1% of the movie took place.
He's acting like it's night at the museum. That's what you were watching.
Yeah, you were.
That wasn't John Wick 2.
But the final scene's in the museum, and it lasts like 15 minutes. And so they're in some new exhibit they're showing off. I just thought it was cheap. I thought they could have done better with John Wick 2.
Cheap.
And you know what? Spoiler alert, the dog wasn't in the fucking second one enough.
Well, the dog was killed in the first one.
I mean, spoiler
It's a new
alert.
dog. And then he says to that dog, stay, and it stays, and it's kind of a great scene.
What is he going to just keep on having dead dogs?
I thought he'd have bring the dog with him to help him kill fucking whatever, these random
This
goons.
isn't a fucking hit dog. It's a regular dog that he found.
You should be training that dog.
What is that based on?
Wait, hold on. Also, spoiler alert, in this fucking...
Not with you.
It's not how spoiler alerts work. You can't just yell it once and then immediately start yelling what the spoiler is.
Yeah, you got to give us time.
All right. I think that was enough time right there. In this world is like the world of John Wick. Everyone's a fucking hitman. Who the fuck are they killing then?
I agree with you.
Like, everyone's just...
It's a different universe than the one that we live in. There's no doubt about that. But at the end of the day, they've overdone it. It would be great if there was, let's say, 0.5% of the people were part of this society. It should be a much smaller society, not everyone in New York.
There was one... You remember the scene in the subway Or like when he was running away from Common.
Remember that scene? I'll think about that scene every day for the rest of my life, Chris.
That was horrifically bad, where they're just shooting each other with fucking silenced fucking handguns, and no one even fucking noticed. The fucking movie sucked.
You got to that, first of all, you got to that point before you realized that it was a strange and ridiculous world.
But that was the fucking most extreme case in the film.
Here's the thing. It wasn't that scene that you just weren't buying into the movie. You weren't buying into that. And I will agree with you there. There's no one specific for me. But in the first movie, you cared about the character. You cared about the fact that he was done wrong and he was willing to go on a suicide mission to fucking pay back. But this, the fact that they're saying, John Wick, there'll be endless suicide missions and endless paying back. He'll never get out. Because that literally could have ended the movie with a coming soon.
I know.
You know? There was no real ending, just like the end of chapter 2. Vito, did you see this?
Did not see John Wick 2 yet.
Oh, that's right. He's not a superhero.
I'm not even a big superhero person, but I will see the Spider-Man movie. That's the one I decided I'll see this summer.
I will not. I'm probably only going to see one summer movie, and I will see it gladly this coming weekend. Baby Driver.
Yeah.
A baby that drives.
I'm really excited about that sequel to Boss Baby.
Now, I don't trust Rotten Tomatoes. They are... Well, I don't trust any single reviewer there, so why would I trust them all? But I will say I saw 100%. And I did check it. And I go, 100%? Sounds like I'm guaranteed to have a great summer experience. Because, I make fun of summer movies. But it's like making fun of rom-com. When a good one comes along, it's fucking great.
Yeah. Rom-com, I actually think, is almost like a best-case scenario. Like, if you get... it's easy to make a bad rom-com, but when you make a great one, you're up for, maybe best movie ever.
Well, I feel the same way about summer movies. I don't like them, but when you get a Jaws, all of that early Spielberg,
Yeah.
Jurassic Park, E.T., there's so many of them, that those things are great experiences. And some, whether it's like Die Hard or Speed, you're like, I know this is as dumb as what Chris was talking about. You know what I mean? Like the thing that Chris has pointed out. Speed would be like, Speed, no, you're not going back out there again today.
No.
You just shot your fucking partner in the leg. You're probably not going to be a cop anymore.
Take your gun.
You know what I mean? This is not something that we do with guns. What was the Keanu Reeves, I'm a surfer and I'm...
Point Break.
Okay, Point Break. He's like the worst FBI agent.
Yeah.
And never has an FBI agent just shot in the air out of frustration. But you put up with it because you've bought into this film.
Yes.
You don't buy into John Wick 2. John Wick 1, the logic is just as bad as you were talking about. The police would have come down on Brooklyn like there was no tomorrow. He wasn't even running into cops.
No.
But you buy into it because you're like, this is an enjoyable experience. And you're going to take... What do they call? Is it a leap of disbelief, or it's just something where you're going to allow yourself
suspend your
suspend? You're going to suspend. You're going to say to yourself, "I realize that the cops would be here by now. I realize this would be on the news, and I give this guy 15 minutes before he was arrested because people would be calling 911."
Right.
Instead, he gets one block over and he's out of danger, and people are like, "Hey, how are you? It's nice to see you." Even though he's bleeding, you're like, "Oh yeah, here's your coffee." And there's the croissant that you wanted. Chris, do I need to break?
We have to break.
I'm going to break. Okay. When we come back, we're going to find out what Chris should buy his special lady, Bennington. Ooh, 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 ooh. Hey, it's the Bennington Show. On a Monday, it's hard to believe that Friday marks the beginning of 4th of July weekend. There's something that's happening to time, because I'm hearing it from everyone. Time is spinning out of control. Time has gone faster.
I always wonder, I know, when you're in New York, New Yorkers say, it feels like everything moves so fast and you can go somewhere else, and then, it chills out and it's not like everything is just happening like crazy. But it really does feel, I don't know, maybe it's like internet or, whatever, just getting too much information. But I really feel like it was just New Year's Eve. And I know, I kind of always,
everyone is saying the
this
same
went
thing.
quick.
Everyone is saying it. Look, I talked to a child that was 2 years old, and the child said to me, I believe it's July already? And I go, first of all, you shouldn't even have that much of a background to care whether it's July or not. So it has gone faster. There's nothing we can do about it.
No, you cannot stop time.
Do what I do. Don't take your phone to work. Unplug, okay? Get off the grid. Stop. Smell the noses.
It feels a little anxiety-ridden, though, not having the phone.
Cut the cord.
Not only cut the cord, but cut the cake. Fucking play the song Cut the Cake. You'll know exactly what I'm talking about right
Cut
now.
the cake, have it, and eat it, too.
That's
what
right.
I do.
You know what? When they say you can't have your cake and eat it too, I go, what if I get 2 fucking cakes?
I'll
You know what I
have
mean?
this one, eat this
Right.
one.
That's the way I fucking roll. Jackson Brown. Joe Jackson Brown. Cut the cake! All right, let's stop for a second. So it's cut the cake, and then he says, give me a little piece, let me lick up the cream.
It's subtle, is what I like about it.
You got to think a little bit. Play it again.
Why don't we play this on people's birthdays?
Hey, stop it. You're being selfish now.
It's tradition.
Let these guys just throw a cock while they play, too. Now, this band's name is Average White Band. And I met them not too long ago, and I go like this. Better name? Extraordinary White Band.
I like this as the birthday replacement song. It was only a couple years ago that I found out that they're the black people have their own birthday song. I didn't realize they do. Yeah. I found this out when...
Hold on. Let's just stop this for a second. I thought every human being, when you carried the cake out, you turn off the lights, you light candles, and you sing happy birthday to me, right?
Yes.
Or happy birthday to you. Are you telling me black people, they get a cake, right?
Yes.
They put candles on that cake.
Yes.
They light those candles.
Yes.
They turn off the light and go walking it in that warm glow.
Yes.
And they sing another song.
Yes. So this happened to me. I worked at a restaurant. A lot of my my coworkers, other servers were black. A lot of the patrons were black in this neighborhood. And the first time I was like, oh, we got to bring the cake out for this big table. And one of the other servers said, oh, I'll do it, honey, because you don't know the black birthday song. And I thought he was teasing me. And the lights, they dim the lights above the table. He comes around and immediately he starts singing Stevie Wonder, happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday. And the whole place is singing that song. And I noticed every time there was a black party, that's what they sang. They did not sing the birthday song. They sang the Stevie Wonder song.
All right, I'm going to do 2 things. First, I want you to look up through Wikipedia to when that song was written. Because I believe that's a late 70s, early 80s song. I could be wrong. Jen, you have many black friends.
Yeah.
You go to black birthday parties.
Yes.
Is Gail telling the truth?
Yeah. I mean, at my birthday parties, I always sang against the black one. I never really sang the
You never had happy birthday to you?
The regular, boring, no.
Yes, it is a boring song. I'm not saying that it's a better song.
Yeah.
It's a terrible song.
So traditionally, when you are at a birthday party and it's mostly black people, do they sing the song I just said?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I rarely hear the other version.
Now,
I thought it was just spiced up. I thought
let
it
me
was
tell you
just
something.
a remix
If
to the
you
Happy
could
Birthday.
own a song and you get paid every time it gets done somewhere, own Happy Birthday.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of times they won't even put it in movies because they're like, I'm not paying that fucking freight for them. Now, I watch movies. I watch Tyler Perry films. I've never seen the Stevie Wonder song. Chris, I asked you for the year that song was written.
1980.
All right, 1980. So we are 36. That's a 36-year-old song. The song Happy Birthday was written pre the Bible. That's how old that song is. Jesus, they sang Happy Birthday to You. The thing that Jen calls the boring song, which is another way of saying white. I get it. It's been around forever. Now, Jen, I want you to find out from your black friends what was sung pre-1980.
Okay.
Did they decide this is a better song?
Yeah. Forget this song. This other song sucks. We got our own song.
Let me speak for white people. Let me speak for white people. We had the Beatles sing You Say It's Your Birthday.
Mm-hmm.
We're like, oh, that's amusing, but I'm not going to fucking sing that to my children. Because there's a tradition on this planet. Happy birthday.
Never heard of this before. This is really weird.
That goes to show you have no black friends.
No.
I actually thought that they were teasing me, and it was not the case. And I noticed that my black friends sing this at their birthday parties. Anytime when I worked in a restaurant where it was like predominantly black customers, that's what they sang.
I will tell you, not only do my friends do this, but out of all the birthday parties I've worked on the weekends for children, it happens all the time where that song comes out and gets sung.
With black families.
With black families. And first time I ever heard it was when I was in 6th grade. I went to a birthday party at Dallas BBQ. And that song burst out. And I was like, oh, there's a different birthday song.
Let me tell you something. I'm looking this up myself. The 1998 Guinness Book of World Records said that Happy Birthday to You is the most recognized song in the English language, followed by For He Is a Jolly Good Fellow. One, you sing, of course, when it's a birthday. Second, retirement. I am uncomfortable knowing that the blacks are trying to divide, separate and divide at a time where I'm trying to bring everybody together. Now, let's also say this. That fucking song by Stevie Wonder, I'll pick out 80 fucking Stevie Wonder songs that are better. I don't think Stevie Wonder wrote a good song post 1980. I think he stopped trying. And we started getting ribbon in the sky instead of in the city. You know what I mean? I think Stevie Wonder, little Stevie Wonder, the Stevie Wonder of the 70s, unfucking believable. Maybe the most talented ever. Post 1980 Stevie Wonder, lazy. Milquetoast. Closer to Lionel Richie than James Brown.
He'd be better off singing Superstition for a birthday song.
Hey, Ray, what's up?
Not much. Gail, I like you and everything. But not gonna lie, I never heard of that before. With all of my black friends and everything, we never had that happen.
Well, that's interesting because maybe it's a city thing because Jen has this experience, Vito has this experience with his friends, and I have it here. Maybe it's regional. Maybe in the Northeast it's a thing. Where are you from?
I mean, I'm from West Point, New York, but right now I live in Michigan, but like back where I lived in New York, never have I heard that before.
And Jen, you swear to it, and Vito also swears to it.
Yeah.
I want to say it could be the New York City, maybe like like Queens, Brooklyn, and the boroughs.
I will say this though, Ray. One of the worst slurs that black people have for each other is country. And you never want to get called country. So look into that. Here is Katrina. Katrina, what's up?
Hey there, Bennington.
Hey.
As a black person, I just want you to be aware that some groups of us sing both songs at the parties.
They'll sing both.
Interesting.
Yes.
Well, so what do you start with?
I grew up personally where we sing the traditional one, followed by the Stevie Wonder version.
All right, let me hear the Stevie Wonder version. I mean, I know the song. I gave it very little, Now, stop it right there, Chris. Hit a stop, not bringing it down, but stop it. Do you sing that part of the song? You wait for the hook, Jen.
I'll be honest, I've never heard the Stevie Wonder version. I just thought it was like a...
Yes. So to me, it's ridiculous to only sing a chorus.
Yes, it's just the chorus.
All right, so go ahead. All right, let's stop it, Chris. Don't bring it down. Stop it, because I might want to pick it back up. Now, Are you singing along with the song, or people just do this themselves?
They just do it themselves, and everybody claps really big, gets up, dances, or just sways around.
I'm
and does
surprised
big
because
claps.
that's not an easy song to sing.
Yeah.
That's not you have to be a very good singer.
You have to be a good singer.
Jed, you agree? Do they normally hit the hook, or?
I have heard the hook with the birthday, them
Right.
do the sing along to it, but most of the time it's just them freestyling.
I'm very surprised. That's not an easy song. All right, thanks, Katrina, and take good care of the waves. I got to tell you, hit it again. They don't do this part. They don't do it. I never understood.
No,
it's just the hook.
It's just the hook, and then everyone claps and dances while they sing it.
My next question was: this in a movie?
I don't know if it started in a movie. I'm not sure.
I don't know. I've never heard it in a movie.
I'm not sure how it got started.
Black people, once again, you've baffled me. I don't know how this became popular on a song. And then people are going, oh, there's other parts of the song. Which means that they didn't hear the song. They're hearing other people sing.
Right. But generationally, the young people are like, oh, this is just what we sing, as opposed to knowing the actual song. Maybe the people who started singing it, they're singing it in reference to the song. But then you're just like, I just know the chorus.
But I'll also say this. I've never liked the Happy Birthday song.
No, it stinks.
It
does
stinks.
stink.
It stinks.
It's not, and by the way, that's not easy to sing. But neither is the Happy Birthday. There's some weird chord changes.
Happy birthday to everybody sounds so dull.
Yeah, happy birthday to you.
Yeah, it's terrible.
It's not good.
And then don't you hate it when it gets like, happy birthday, dear grandma, and people are saying mommy.
Yeah,
and then,
it's not good.
Tina, all at the same time. They're not fucking it up that you have a different relationship with the person at the party.
We have, nobody discusses ahead of time, hey, how are we going to slate this? I know we're going to be singing happy birthday later. Let's just come up with one nickname. It's going to be okay. But I also think it's hard because if you start too high, then you get to the point where it's happy birthday, dear. A lot of people crack up at that. There's a weird pitchy thing that happens with everyone. It's awkward.
This is a thing that should have come up earlier. This song was not written as a birthday song for everybody. This song was written for the fact that Dr. Martin Luther King did not have a holiday, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this was written for, when you hear those lyrics that you're like, oh, I never paid attention, that's Dr. King. That's a tribute to Dr. King that you're not paying attention to. Dr. King was, for white people, he was like black people's Donald Trump. Where the way we have Donald Trump to look out for us and try to make sure that our rights are more than we could ever hope for.
Yeah.
That's what the good doctor tried to do. So maybe a lot of people heard that in the 80s growing up.
Yeah.
I don't know. Here is Carrie in Georgia. Carrie.
Hey, I just want to let you know we've been singing this song for probably 6, 7, 8 years. I'm a white guy. I don't know if maybe it might be a Jewish thing that we picked up on, but we sing that song. I know that some of my black friends definitely sing it at birthdays, but since the regular birthday song is so lame, we've kind of adopted it.
Where did you first hear it, Carrie?
We heard it. We were out at a bar or a restaurant. I remember it was a number of years ago, and we were in town, and it wasn't necessarily a black birthday. It was, all mixed together. And we were like, what song is that? I had no idea it was a Stevie Wonder song. And you wouldn't. I mean, people just sing to it. It's all a cappella. You're clapping and dancing, and sometimes it's short, sometimes it's long, but it's catchy, and people
But you don't
into
sing
it.
anything but the hook, which is weird for any song. That's a weird thing. Amir, Vegas.
Yo, Bennington's.
Yes.
How's it going?
Good.
I never even heard the original Happy Birthday until I was 5 or 6, maybe. I had always grown up hearing the Stevie Wonder one.
All right, what?
Just the hook, yeah.
And that was it. And it would be your family. Happy birthday. I couldn't. I think it's too hard to sing. I think it's too difficult to sing.
But you know what? The good thing about it is it's like fun and everyone's clapping. So it seems less important that you sing it well because all you have to do is be enthusiastic and clap along. Whereas like the happy birthday song that we sing, there's like a lot of pressure to hit the notes.
It's more like a chant than even a song.
God damn it, spot on, Gail. Yeah, because it's the Stevie Wonder song is fun. It's energetic, it's loud, it's a party. Like the original one is all.
I put the old Happy Birthday song right up there with Barbara of Seville. I'm the barber of Seville. I'm the barber of Seville. Figaro. I think one of the worst songs ever. My buddy Ezra. Ezra, what's happening?
Hey, my buddies, what's up? I love you.
Yeah,
How you doing? Hey, listen, I was alive when that song came out in real time.
Okay, good.
So we would originally sing that happy birthday song. But immediately, as soon as that song came out, people started singing it after the happy birthday song, and then it just took over. Because you can't have a funk band playing with that first song. But man, when that Stevie song came out, people started dancing, people started singing, and you started grooving. You just took over.
Now, did you know that it was for Dr. King? Because it was. That was the reason why Stevie Wonder wrote the song. And that maybe is why I don't like the 80s Stevie Wonder as much, is like instead of being a funky guy that was just playing great music, like he was suddenly going around the world trying to get people to be better people. Right. You know what I mean? Like, it would be showing up to get everything taken care of. Stevie's here. This is the right side of history. Let's go. Here's Hard Rock Johnny. Johnny.
I've never in my life heard that sung anywhere. And I've been working in the restaurant business since I was 20.
Well, Johnny,
I've never ever once heard it.
Johnny's family on birthdays, it's the same song. When the moon hits your eye like a big pizza pie at some more.
I would like to maybe, since my birthday is coming up this week, I will maybe do the Stevie Wonder thing, and I'll see if we can get that played somewhere.
That's cultural appropriation.
Change the vibe.
So it's a good point. This is the Hard Rock, right?
Right.
You know how many people go to the Hard Rock in Times Square for their birthday? Why hasn't Johnny heard the song?
I don't know. Maybe because Hard Rock isn't in Fort Greene, New York, where I heard it. Fort Greene, Brooklyn.
But you're not saying, Fort Greene black people. You made the statement, all black people.
Yes, but a lot of people are tweeting and calling in saying that they've had similar experience. So it's got to be, maybe it's not 100%, but it's got to be like a large percentage.
And also, I don't think people are like asking, like, "Hey, can I have the black happy birthday version?"
Actually, I'm going to ask for it. I'm going to say, "Excuse me, miss, I'd like to do the black version when you bring the cake out." All right, thanks, Jenny. Peace. Johnny, we're going to do our interns party with Johnny.
That's being organized.
He always loves an intern party.
It's on Spencer Inn, right? Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday. It seems hard to me.
Yeah.
It does not seem easy. I noticed that Vito or Chris wouldn't even jump in.
I know.
Spencer, this black birthday song, have you heard that before?
No, I've not heard of it.
I'm agreeing with you. Now, did you realize Jenny Hutt knows your mom?
Actually, I knew she saw someone who works at Sirius and actually knows your show, but I forgot the name.
Yeah,
but
it's Jenny
Hutt. Yeah, no.
Jenny's dad was very big and still is very big in the music business. At Jenny's, what do you call it? When, is this your 16th? Is that like a coming out party or
Sweet
something?
16?
I guess it's Sweet 16. Now, not everybody does it. Some people do.
Yeah.
Or was it her bat mitzvah?
It might have been the bat mitzvah.
All right. Chris, tell everybody who the two bands that played there were.
One band was the Beastie Boys.
Let's just stop for a second. The Beastie Boys are one of the biggest bands of all time. They were at her house. And the other band?
Run DMC.
So here's two bands, and let's face it. I mean, she's way old. So at the time this happened, it was almost too cool for her. But that's two bands in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Two bands that pretty much created hip hop. Three people are responsible: Run DMC, Beastie Boys, and Ron Bennington. I've decided to even play down what I've done for it. So you see where she is in the music business, but so for her, I want you to point that out to your mom, just like Jenny Hutt called in today. She said she talked to you.
Yes, she did. I would definitely tell her that.
Are you enjoying this year more or less than last year?
I would say probably about the same.
Yeah. Is it Justin? Is that the less fun for you?
It's a tough question.
Yeah. Justin, come in here. Because I like to see. Last night, when we were at Skankfest, I had to reprimand Chris because he didn't even let Justin know that Skankfest was going on. You did not know in advance, right?
No, I knew it was going on, but I didn't know you guys were doing like the whole thing.
How could that happen?
I don't know. I should have told Justin, but it slipped my mind.
But I ended up catching the tail end of it.
Yes, you know why? Because I yelled at him. I said, why did Justin move all the way down here to New York and there's a night like this going on?
But yeah, it was an awesome show. Like I saw Big J crowd surf. It was nuts.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
Yeah, no, it was like a rugby scrum. It was took a lot of guys.
Sure. It doesn't have to be easy to work. And you don't come into the city at night, right? This was late, 1 o'clock in the morning.
Nope.
And then did you hang around for Bert Kreischer's shirtless?
Yeah, I saw that whole, discount full Monty.
Now, you were out to what time last night?
I probably got back around like 2:30. But yeah, they were still going. Like I was just like, I have work.
Yeah, they were going to keep going. They party.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, the smell of skunk weed inside.
Oh, yes.
It was a very 1970s vibe of, hey, I guess we can smoke weed. You can't even smoke a cigarette inside.
No. I was like, what is this, skunk fest?
So we're like, I can't even tell the difference of what skunk smells like or what weed smells like. They both sound the same. They both smell the same.
They sound the same.
One stays around a lot longer.
Now, I understand that you got a new place.
Yeah. It's in Williamsburg. I'm doing like the final
Are
steps
you happy with it?
Oh yeah, it's amazing. It's like three stops into Williamsburg. Like I take one train.
So, where did you crash last night?
I actually stayed at a hotel because I was kind of tired of staying at Airbnbs and stuff. Like having to listen to other people sleep.
Well, I don't know if it's a problem, but I don't know if I can even offer this, but Chris's fiance has a very big place.
You can definitely stay with her.
Seems like he already has a place in set up. I think that works out for him.
Might be negative, dude.
Yeah.
This young man's from Canada.
I know.
And I
Our
think
future enemy.
your special lady friend is a nice person, and it
She is a
seems
nice
like she
person.
would maybe let him crash.
You were staying with a dick before this, right? For a while?
Yeah.
When you were down here?
Yeah, I was staying with a bunch of different people, but yeah,
But
after a while, you don't want to, overstay your welcome.
And that person was letting on that you had? Okay. Well, if you need to go out to Spencer's place, you guys have a big house, right?
Yeah, we have a ranch.
Do you really?
Yeah. I mean, it's big though. It's like decent size.
Now, a ranch means that you have horses?
No, it does not.
Nice
Nice try.
what makes it?
I thought that's what someone called a ranch.
A ranch means there's only one floor in a house. A colonial
okay.
is a 2-floor house.
Do I live in a ranch apartment? Because it's just one floor. No? All right. Cool. Thanks, dude.
I think it's a ranch.
No one's going to sell for you here.
No one. No one will respond to me.
All All right, we got to get out of here. But that was real fun, huh?
Yeah. It was something special for sure.
Well, I'm sure you would have thought it was something special if you would have come to the Unmasked, too.
Yeah, that would.
But you didn't even know we were doing one.
No, but I can't wait to hear it because like Ari's, I'm just hearing nothing but crazy things about Ari and like his journey the past couple of years. Like,
yeah, it's amazing.
It's a really good one. It's really one of my favorites of all time. It was fantastic.
But we got to let our whole staff know what we're doing. That would be the fun, smart thing.
We need to meet and greet each other.
Here's what I think. We need a person that's the center spoke for this. And I'm thinking of Spencer. Mm-hmm. Are you an organized guy?
I would say I'm pretty decent.
Okay.
But I can definitely get as organized as I can.
For some reason, we don't have an organized factor to this. And it should be fun. It shouldn't be work. Like I said, the thing that you came in last night, that's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to see Skankfest. Someday it's going to be this big corporate sellout, okay? Yeah. But you're seeing it now, the way when I first saw Lollapalooza, where I'm like, this is always going to stay small and funky and crazy.
It's our Burning Man.
Well, I didn't go to Burning Man until a couple weeks ago. Now, I'll give you an example of how come we're never organized. What's an example, Chris? All right, I'll give it to you if you like.
Okay.
We still haven't given out the Eddie Izzard Prize today. Now, we knew this all day. It came up before the show, and here we are. Well, we're past where we'd normally be because Opa's off today, why we can hang in here. So, announce the Eddie Izzard Prize.
The signed unmasked Eddie Izzard poster signed by Eddie Izzard. That's going to first responder at Buzzard Toombs. This tweet, after Town Hall with Ron at Eddie Izzard's hashtag Believe Me is the top of my reading list. Vacay next week, taking Eddie with me at Bennington Show.
Very nice.
Congrats.
Well, what would we have done if we would have just signed up today?
I would have given it out tomorrow.
Tomorrow, why wouldn't it be the same situation as we had today? That's the thing that we need. We need somebody to be aware that we said we were going to do this and to do it. That could be Spencer.
Could be, yeah.
I can do whatever it takes.
I know you could. Spencer, I believe if I told you I need somebody from another show killed, that you would do it for me. Like, I would see you stabbing E-Rock.
Oh, my God. No way. Scratch that 100% off the list.
You never liked that? You never liked trouble, right?
Oh, no.
One thing about Spencer, and it's one reason that I always love having him here, is he likes to have everything done perfectly.
Yeah.
You don't even like to hear the slightest bit of, hey, this didn't work out the way we wanted it to.
It varies.
Yeah.
But
no, he's hard on himself.
Well.
He's hard on himself if anything bad happens.
Now, the other day we had kind of a little bit of an obnoxious guest, right? Yeah. And you said to me, and this is my favorite, he tried to Rich Voss me.
Oh.
Now, that means that you don't forget Rich Voss's nuttiness from last year.
Oh, God, I will never forget that moment.
Now, we used to do a thing where you gave people a little tour.
Oh, yeah.
So we'd have time before they got here.
Oh, yeah.
But because of Rich Voss, we're not even comfortable with that. You don't
Nope.
do the tour anymore?
Nope. Just talk to him a little bit, see how his day is.
Mm-hmm.
Just keep it all going. Because you know what? He's like, hey, come on. I've heard of stories before. I've been here.
That's a good impression of him.
Oh, my God.
I'm hiding under the table.
Tonight is his roast.
Oh, yeah.
Rich Voss, 60 years young.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, the stories going around about Bonnie just nailing it on Twitter has been hilarious lately. What was the one that she did yesterday? I think she did it to...
God, I wish I could remember who tweeted something.
Was it was it Joe from last night, or...
It might have been Joe DeRosa. I'm not sure.
I'm going to say it's DeRosa.
Yeah.
I'm going to say it's DeRosa.
But
for all practical purposes.
So he had wrote a joke on Twitter, and then she responded, I think you meant this for your drafts. Just like this thing you think is funny is not. And I put it on a public forum for everyone to see.
It's not finished, honey. Happy birthday to ya.
Happy birthday
That's too hard.
to ya.
It's too hard. It's too fucking hard to do.
The dancing works, though. That's the part I like.
You were the only one dancing.
Yeah, I know. That's how you do it, guys. Gotta clap.
Got to be there for each other. All right, we're going to break. Now, you know that because I know you don't like when we take vacations without telling you. You know next week is vacation.
Oh, yeah.
It doesn't bother you?
Nope.
Okay, good. Last year, you're like, what is this vacation thing all about? It is weird. You got anything planned for 4th of July week?
I'm probably going to have cousins over. Last year, I went with my friend upstate New York, but he can't have plans this year because he's down in Florida taking summer classes. But, but I have a lot of people coming over my house.
That sounds like fun. Over the ranch house?
Good one.
Yeah, I know.
We're having a pool party. We're having lots and lots of food. So
Good.
I'm going to work out, do some soul cycle before I put all the food in my body.
Good, smart move. What about you, Justin? Anything planned for next week?
Yeah, I'll probably go back to Montreal, check out the open mic scene a little bit more.
Here's the thing. Montreal over July 4th?
Yeah, I know. That's what it's actually, I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
Because, I've never been in the States for July 4th, and I just hear it's nothing but wild.
Well, the fireworks over New York Harbor are, there's millions of people who showed up to see that.
I hear they invest like millions in those fireworks shows, too.
Yeah.
They're crazy. And then they're like all the way down the river, so you can see them. If you get in a spot where you can see them like on a rooftop or somewhere high enough, you can see them like happening in unison, and it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, it looks like Cloverfield. I don't know what it is about me. I won't even turn my head to look at fireworks. I've seen fireworks. I'm done.
Yeah. You're not into them.
I like the black version of fireworks. And that's Stevie Wonder screaming at his ex-wife. All right. We got to go. Anything we need to plug, Chris?
No, we don't have anything to plug.
Nope. We have nothing to plug. All right, guys. We'll see you again in 1974.
Ladies and gentlemen, the evening is over. We hope you all enjoyed yourselves, and we'll see you all again in 1974. Good evening!